As humans, we don't get to choose the cards that we are dealt. The only choice we get is how to shuffle said cards and make the right moves utilizing the hands at play. My next guest has navigated through life with no choice but to move solely with strong forward momentum, pushing through some of the roughest terrain that makes up his emotionally crippling, complicated story. The adolescent era of middle school is a period in both of our lives where our stories as friends began. Every so often in life, we come across energies that are so positively infectious to our souls that they leave a permanent mark on our hearts forever. CJ is truly like a brother to me, and he possesses a heart so vast that it could dwarf the planet Jupiter if it were possible to lay it beside the said gas giant. It is through CJ that I really got to grasp fully what the term solidarity really meant. Loyalty and compassion are deeply ingrained into every last cell that makes up his very being. To witness what he has become after all he's been through has been nothing short of incredible, as many moments throughout his journey would have destroyed some of the strongest men I've come to know in life tenfold. Never giving up and becoming the best man and father that he could be would put a smile on his grandfather Seymour's face from ear to ear. CJ and I sat down for what could have easily been over 10 hours and just briefly touched on some of the rough moments of his when growing up. We haven't even scratched the surface, but I am thankful for his trust and for opening that door just a tad for the listeners in hopes of inspiring anyone that went through or is currently going through a similar situation. He leads by example with his mental fortitude and strength to never give up, always looking forward. Please welcome my brother from another mother, Charles Tuite, a.k.a. CJ. You're now listening to the Sauce Talk Podcast. What up, everybody? It's your boy Al Siggity Sauce, and welcome back to the Sauce Talk Podcast. Today I have one of my favorite people on God's green earth. I've known this gentleman since I was in middle school, practically. That phrase, brother from another mother, resonates with me and this gentleman beyond belief. It's remarkable the long life that he's had for as young as he is. And, you know, it's incredible to see the man that he's become after all he's been through. And I just can't wait to share his story with you all. I'm very thankful that he's here. So my boy, CJ Tuite, baby. What's up, baby?
What's up, buddy?
Can't believe you're here, man.
I am. Reluctantly, but here.
You have a very interesting story, and I think that it'll be very impactful for lots of the listeners. It'll resonate with some of them more than others, but I think everybody can relate to part of your story.
Yeah.
I kind of think, when I think of you, there's the Verona era and the Mount Arlington era.
Yeah.
Really, truthfully.
Yeah. Those were the two
defining
eras,
the split.
And I mean, there's pre-Verona too, but that sucked. We'll get into that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But the Verona, Mount Arlington, those are shaping times in my life for sure.
Two very different times in your life.
Yeah.
And I've been
still
there
in
both.
Arlington somehow.
Yeah, you still live there.
Still live there. Well, back there, I guess, if we want to go all the way around, but yeah.
So you know what? I want to talk about how I met you, obviously, but I want to tap into before that first.
I want to talk about how good this Hibiki is. It's stupid good.
Dude, the nutty facets of it are fucking glorious.
No, go. I'm just saying.
I hope I can get a sponsor. Once I start doing video, I hope they get sponsored because I love this shit.
I'll be back. You'll see a lot of me then.
I love this shit so much, dude. So where were you born? Where'd you grow up? Because there's a lot about your early life.
I was born in Newark.
Okay.
March 1985.
Oof. Yeah,
Born
you and I are a day apart.
But only born in Newark, never lived there.
Oh, okay.
Lived in Verona early, and then bounced around a ton. I mean, how far do you want to go down the rabbit hole? I mean, born in Newark, lived in Verona for a bit, and then I bounced around a ton before the first grade. So like pre you and even knowing you I guess we met in 5th, 6th grade.
Something like that.
Somewhere in there. I went from 1st grade to 7th grade in Verona, right? Pre 1st grade though, I lived in Hackettstown, Lake Apagon, Boonton, Belleville, even Verona back again, and I think Bloomfield.
Oh, so you were up there once before the Lake
Apacon for like everywhere seemed like a couple months. You know,
Yeah.
it was like a trip. It was a tough go because my mom was like constantly not having enough money to live places, so we just bounced around a ton, whatever was cheap. So like Hackettstown, for instance, was ultra cheap, so we stayed there for a bit. Which I love that house. I still pass it all the time at work now, and I'm like, damn, it was like duplex. But constantly getting evicted or whatever, and we just, on to the next one. So
Yeah, you lived a rough life, man. Very sporadic, and you've been through a lot.
Gypsy life, I like to call it.
Yeah,
A lot of moving around, a lot of new people,
yeah,
stuff like that.
and you have a brother and a sister.
Yeah. Brother, sister, 2 different, same mom. Us 3 have the same mom, different fathers. And there's some other family too. Like we have a brother that got foster cared.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Through, this was in Arlington days. My mom had a kid with, you remember John, my stepfather in Arlington?
Yeah.
Right. She had a kid with him, and
I didn't even know that.
yeah. So I don't even know him. His name's John, and we stayed in touch early, and he went to a better family, and it just for the better, right?
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I guess we're jumping ahead with that one.
No,
but
that's okay.
Wow,
We're
I
going to
didn't even
circle
know
back
that.
to all this. We'll start.
I didn't even know
we'll
that.
start and keep coming back.
There's so much. I mean, there's so much that I do know because I've been there for a lot.
Yeah.
But there's a lot that I don't know, especially before Verona era.
Off the rip, yes. Brother, sister, different fathers. Lived with my brother the whole time. My sister lived in Belleville, where we lived for a bit.
Gotcha.
She stayed there with her father and grandparents.
And your father, you haven't seen him in a very long time, right?
Long time, yeah. I actually met my father. And we'll go through all this. We are jumping ahead, but I met my father legitimately when I was 16.
So what happened when your mother had you?
So
He was
had
gone
me-
immediately?
No, I'd say 3 years old. I mean, far enough back that I don't really remember it. So I didn't know. I thought my sister's father was my dad
Holy
for the
shit.
longest time until my mom kind of told me who he was. And I'm like, what the fuck? Who's this guy?
Oh, man.
So I looked him up, found out when I was 16, and kind of just barged into his office and met him.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Yeah.
We'll go through it all. We'll make a sense of this at the end.
Yeah. It'll all gather. The amalgamation process.
We'll figure it all out.
Yeah. Wow. So you really did, before I met you in Verona, that you jumped around a lot to all these places.
Yeah, all over the place.
When you were a kid, did you ever, I know you were very young, but did you ever think to yourself, why are we doing all this moving around?
No. It's
You never
super
questioned
normal.
it, right?
Nope. So it's totally normal. This is, okay, cool. On to the next one. 2 places in Hackettstown now that I think about it. Once over an apartment, once in a duplex.
Isn't that remarkable? When you're a kid, right? When you're that young, you can't really make sense of a lot of things, and that would be, one of them. Moving around a lot, you don't really question things. You're a kid and you live life.
Right. The beauty of being a kid.
Exactly, and that's why I'm so against introducing religion to kids at such a young age.
I'm not a big fan.
Because you don't, like I just said, point given, you didn't even know why you're moving around, nor did you care. So why would you introduce?
They also don't have a choice.
Yeah. Why would you
Your
introduce
parents are
those
just
type of
introduced.
things?
You're this. Go to church. Blah blah blah. Great, but the kids never had a choice whether to be.
Of course, you don't have a choice. You don't know what
Whatever
you're
they
doing.
want to be. I had this problem with my girls getting earrings.
Really?
Yeah, and we'll get into this too.
Yeah.
My ex-wife now, let's get earrings. I was like, no. Why? I said, well, because that's a choice. What if you get them earrings when they're 6 months old and they become 15 and they didn't want earrings, now you got holes in yours.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Right?
Yeah.
So Let them decide. Let them go through the pain of earrings and then tell their sister, hey, it sucks. It hurts.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that. It's just you just get it done and you keep it moving, right?
Right.
But it's not a choice.
It's not a choice. They just have earrings. They wake up. Okay, I got earrings.
It's like religion. You don't have a choice.
It's stupid and it's small, but I just felt like it should be a choice. If you're going to puncture your ears, and
totally,
it should be your choice to do it. And sure enough, we held off and we waited, and they got older and they got earrings. They wanted them, we got them. Done.
But at least they wanted.
They wanted them, we got them.
Ah, that's interesting. I didn't know that about you.
It's kind of like it's small, but it's significant to me.
All those things matter
because I feel like I didn't have a choice in moving around 10 places.
Yeah.
But, this is like something you don't have to just puncture their ears. Like, oh, yeah, it's easier when they're a baby. Why?
Yeah.
Why is it easier when they're a baby? It still fucking hurts. It sucks.
Yeah, it does.
So let them deal with the actual pain of it when they're 10 and maybe they don't want 15 earrings in their fucking head.
Ah, good point. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, man, especially when it comes to like raising kids and stuff. But the religion thing always like to force a kid to that, they don't even know what's going on. Like you didn't even know why you're moving around, nor did you care. So it's like, why would you introduce something that's such a big deal into somebody's psyche? Like to introduce stuff like that, it's going to dictate how they live the rest of their lives. So let kids be kids. When they get older, then you start teaching them little things.
Yeah, religion's a tricky one for me because I never really grew up religious at all. I grew up Jewish because I guess I didn't have a choice, but really I did. I mean, I didn't go through the bar mitzvah stuff and all that shit, but went to temple with grandpa, who I ended up living with. And this will all make sense at the end.
So your mother was actually adopted, right?
She was adopted, yeah. So my mother was dropped on a doorstep at a church.
Really?
Yeah. There's zero paperwork on her parents. She was a complete Jane Doe.
Get the fuck out of here.
Swear to God, yeah.
So your mom never found
paperwork of that too. I found it going through my grandfather's stuff when he passed away. Yeah.
So she never knew her parents?
Not at all.
Ever.
And hence I did a 23andMe years later and found out some things, but yeah.
Wow.
Adopted. My grandfather took her in when she was 3 or 4.
Really?
Yeah.
How did he do that? Did he go to like a place?
Yeah, he went through the whole
process?
Yeah, the whole process, how you have to do it. And
do you know the reasoning behind your grandfather wanting to adopt?
They couldn't have kids.
Oh.
It was my grandmother.
Oh.
She couldn't have kids. They tried like hell. Couldn't happen.
That's why adoption is beautiful.
Yeah.
Because everybody needs a home.
Yeah. Yeah. And sucks for my grandfather.
Well, you can't really say that.
No,
because he'd never have you.
I say that, but I'm like,
no, I know what you're saying.
God, like,
I know what you're saying.
At the end of this podcast, you guys are gonna look back at the beginning and go, "Fuck, all right."
No, not at all. But no, because I understand.
He just went through it.
I understand you tremendously.
Shit.
I understand you tremendously.
Like you have a kid.
Yeah.
You go through adoption. You pick a kid. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with adoption. I think it's amazing. I think it's the best thing ever. But like, you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah. But if he never would have adopted,
it was a tough go for him.
He would have never had you.
Correct.
And
correct.
That bond between
And I wouldn't even have been here. I mean, if you want to go that crazy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have been here. So. But he was just, again, we're going to get there. My grandpa was the sweetest, best man on the planet ever.
One of the most important people in my life that I ever met.
And my mom gave him a tough go, and I hope she listens to this.
Yeah, right? That's another, all this stuff is all going to, like you said, come full circle.
It's all going to come around. We'll figure this out. By the end of this thing, it'll all make sense. We're jumping around a little bit. We're getting crazy, but.
So you're a kid. You're bouncing around. You don't have a care in the world. You don't really know why you're bouncing around. You're just kind of going with the flow, right?
Right.
Then eventually you end up in Verona, where you stay the majority of your early life in.
Yeah,
right?
First grade, yeah. And the reason I was there, I mean, if we want to go, you want to go with the reason we're there, my mom got arrested.
For what?
So we're bouncing around, we're doing this, we're doing that. And it was virtually me and my brother at this point. My sister was staying with her dad and her grandparents in Belleville, where we lived it for some time. And then my mom gets arrested for burglary.
Oh, that early. Wow.
Yeah. She gets arrested for burglary, goes to jail.
How long? And how old were you when this happened?
You know, it felt like forever, like first grade, you know, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Alexa, how old are you in first grade? Yeah, I don't know. She goes to jail, and I don't know this at first. I don't know anything that's going on. It's just like we're staying with, you know, grandma and pop, whatever. I find out later, but so she goes to jail for burglary, conspiracy on multiple burglaries. So she's there for years. So let's see, first grade. She pops back in sixth grade.
So you were without a mother.
So she was gone probably, I'd say she was in prison for 5 years.
You were without a mother for that long.
Yeah.
And you didn't know your dad, obviously.
No. Live with grandpa. Who was
what about your brother's dad?
Brother's dad was kind of in and out of the picture. He was like, I don't know, you know, I don't know his backstory too well. Like he was kind of in and out. He showed up here and there, but I didn't know him. And that's another thing too of my brother. Like, oh man, we could bounce around forever, but my brother didn't really know who his father was. Same thing till he was about 13 or so. Didn't really know. I mean, we kind of all thought my sister's father was our father, you know, just like kind of how we assumed it to be.
Because he was around more.
Because he was around more, right. So that's kind of how like we just assumed, all right, this is dad, you know. And we all found this out later in life, and it was brutal.
Yeah, because you're not going to tell a
like
kid
I
that.
took it, brother. I took it better. My brother had a tough time with it.
I don't blame him.
He had a tough time with it.
It's I couldn't imagine it, you know, because fortunately, I never went through anything like that, so I wouldn't know, but I could only fucking imagine,
It was
dude.
tough, yeah.
It could be crippling,
Yeah.
you know, so.
So that was first grade. So yeah, I mean, I think I found out my mom was actually in jail in like maybe second grade. Like first grade, it was like normal. Mom was around, whatever. We're staying with grandpa, you know, vacation. Hey, fuck it.
And I guess you never thought like, oh, I miss my mommy or anything like that.
I don't know. I didn't really think about it. It was just like, oh, we're staying with grandpa. And then
that's a lot of years, man.
Come second grade, it was like, oh, we're gonna go visit mom. And we actually went to
Also,
to
this
the
was
jail.
the first time.
Yeah, I think it was in second grade. Yeah.
What was that like? Do you remember like what your thoughts were when you were there?
Yeah. I was like, at first I was like, what do you mean she's in jail? You know. Yeah. And I think my grandfather tried to soften the blow, but like I was pretty well rounded in second grade, if you could believe this. I couldn't believe like we were going to my mom was in a place, you know, quote unquote place. I almost picked up on it immediately. We were going through the guards and the whole thing. So it was pretty obvious, and it became pretty routine. We visited her like, you know, once every probably couple months. And
so for a year you didn't at first?
At first, because I think, this is totally hypothetical, I don't know. Maybe they were just trying to figure out what her sentence was, you know, like maybe she got off, maybe she didn't. They're trying to hide it, maybe. But eventually it was set in stone, so we went.
Wow.
And it was like, I don't know, it felt pretty normal.
Were you talking to her like through a glass? Like
they had like
TV thing?
No, they had like it was Clinton, New Jersey.
Okay.
Clinton women's facility. It was pretty like open. We went to like a cafeteria. Pretty normal.
And just just like your life for that time.
Hey, ma, you know. But like at that time, it's so weird. Like a year goes by, and then you see your mom. It's kind of like it feels kind of weird.
I could imagine, bro.
Like you know her, but you don't know her because if you jump back 3-4 years, we're bouncing around all the time. She's working all the time. I'm in daycare. I'm in this school, that school. Like then you see mom, and it's like, oh, almost like I didn't recognize her. It's kind of weird. It's a tough thing to grasp.
So
like,
weird.
You know, your own mother, and you're like trying to, who is this?
Yeah.
That's tough.
And you're so young.
Yeah.
Those are the most important years of like your life. And
yeah,
she wasn't able to be there during those times. Thank God for your grandfather, man.
Oh, the fucking goat. I mean,
I'm about to cry just saying his name.
He was the
Fuck,
and you knew him. You know him.
dude.
I mean,
He was one of that. I told you he was important in my life, and I didn't even,
he was a guy that just really came up big.
Oh,
Big.
would you say he's probably the defining figure in your life
He's
that made you who you are and why you survived?
Everything, bro.
Why you survived your situation?
I look back at a million things, crazy things that he would tell me, and like he just helped me so significantly that I hate when someone tells you things when you're young, right? 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, whatever. And someone gives you this advice and it's so sound and so good, but you can't grasp it in the moment because you're in 3rd, 4th grade.
You're a kid.
Right? But 10 years later, 15 years later, you're like, damn, he was so right. Like, fuck.
Like that Common album, One Day It'll All Make Sense,
One day it'll all make sense. And he's so right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Scary right, dude.
So you were with, wow, I didn't realize that you were with your grandparents.
Yeah, 1st through like 5th or 6th grade. Because I remember this vividly. My mom came back into the picture like 6th-ish grade.
Shortly before you moved.
I was in 7th grade. 7th grade ended and we up and just left Verona. So like she wasn't there long. So it had to have been like 5th, 6th grade timeline. So first through 5th or so. Had to have been like 5 years she was in prison.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so bizarre.
Which is crazy.
And so the first year you didn't visit her at all. And then after that, you were visiting her once every couple months or so, or once a month. And just, that was just your relationship.
Yeah, it had to have been like once every few months, I'd say. I'll never forget this. A funny story about, we pull up to like the gates. You're going to love this story because you're a shoe guy. So we like pull up and we're doing our thing and the guard's like, you too, me and my brother, like shoes off. And we're like, okay, cool. What do you mean shoes off? They're like inspecting our shoes like crazy. They were fucking LA lights.
Oh, wow. The best.
They were setting off the detectors and shit. I swear to God, I remember this like crazy, like it was yesterday.
I thought you were smuggling shanks.
Yeah, because we kept buzzing off the alarms with these fucking LA lights. They loved them.
Probably because of the batteries in them or something like that, right?
That was it. Yeah, had to have been. But it was crazy. They were like checking the shoe, the sole, the whole thing.
Wow.
I remember it was yesterday vividly.
When you see kids now wearing shoes that light up, do you think about that?
Oh my God. I wish I had a pair of those.
I wonder if that time would have
It doesn't even bring up like a bad memory. Like it was a good one. I was like, damn,
yeah, those are fire.
I was getting checked at the gate for that shit.
Remember the snow joints? I had snow boots that lit up too.
Did you?
Yeah, you fucking
wish. No.
Step 5 inches in.
Velcro snow boots like fucking, what's his name? Napoleon Dynamite.
What was your grandmother's name? I don't think I ever met your grandmother. I do not remember your grandmother at all.
Wow. My grandmother passed away in 95.
That's why.
Yeah, I was 10. I called her fucking ma'am.
That was
M-A-M, ma'am. Natalie.
Wow.
Natalie.
But you called her ma'am.
Yeah. Ma'am, M-A-M. Ma'am and Pap, P-A-P.
Wow.
Ma'am and Pap. Well, she passed away in 95. It was
a long time.
Long time. Natalie, yeah.
And they were both Jewish, obviously. They both practiced that faith or whatever, right?
Yeah. And that's a funny thing, too. My grandfather was a devout Jew, and I don't know about my grandmother. I think she married in, I could be wrong.
He wasn't Orthodox or anything, right? Because he never wore a yarmulke or nothing.
No, I mean, at temple, he would throw one on. He'd toss one on.
Oh, he would in temple. Okay.
He would fire one up in temple, but...
Yeah. What was your grandfather's first name?
He wasn't like a Hasidic or anything like super crazy. He was like, he was a temple guy. He was Jewish. Yeah. Fucking standard Jew.
Yeah.
Charlie, let me get a chicken parmesan.
Bro, what a gentle man.
We could talk about him. We could do the whole podcast on him. We might as well have 5 podcasts because he was the GOAT.
You can't do this podcast without bringing him up. Like I said, he's such an important role in your life, and he probably saved your life, essentially.
Yeah, 100%. He, his role in my life was so substantial. And it doesn't seem like it in the moment. Like I look back a lot and think like, man, in the moment, my grandfather was just my grandfather. He was a father figure. He sucked at times because he had his rules and he had his things about him, right? And it's like you treat him like you're just a normal parent growing up. But like looking back, I'm like, God damn, this guy like literally gave me the footsteps to the life I have now. And listen, I'm not living no fucking lap of luxury, or I'm not absolutely crushing it, but I'm figuring it out. And that's so important. And that's him. Like I could have went so many different ways, and he just had these crazy wisdom things about him that just made sense. And it was like, okay, cool. Just be a guy and don't fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, be a good dude. Don't fuck up. And those are great words right there.
Yeah. Be good.
Be a good dude. Don't fuck up. Like, that's it, man. You're allowed to have fun. You're allowed to do things. And he was an old school guy, everything in moderation, all that, all that old school shit. But like, I don't know, everything just resonated. And it didn't at the time. It never does at the time. Yeah. At the time, you're like, oh, fuck you. I'm not listening to you. You're my grandpa. You're not my dad. But like, I look back and he like, for instance, like my credit score is awesome, right? My credit score is awesome for a reason. Because my grandfather one day told me, like when I was younger, like I was probably, I don't know, 13, 14, 15, whatever. He's like, Charlie, let me tell you, when you get older, you ain't going to be a fucking millionaire. I'm like, Pop, come on. He's like, nah, you're not smart enough. Like,
wow.
But he wouldn't be a dick about it. Like, yeah, he said, like, the way he said it, like it wasn't like he wasn't being a dick, but he was right. I mean, fuck, I'm not a millionaire. But he told me, he's like, one day, it was like, just keep your credit score up. One day you're going to need it. Right. And I did. And I'm not a fucking millionaire. I don't have a boatload of cash. I have a great credit score, a fantastic fucking credit score. And he helped me with that when I was like 16 years old, get a credit card, the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And my credit's fucking phenomenal. And I got my car because of it. And I got my apartment because of it and this and that. Like those are things like in the moment, you're like, oh, wow, Pop, what the fuck? What do you mean I'm not going to be a millionaire?
Yeah.
Like he's right. No shit, I'm not going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could have been, but.
Yeah, you still can. Never too late.
Yeah.
So I wonder what it was like for you to grow up under just grandparents, because they come from a different time, a different, it's a totally different dynamic.
Yeah. Yep.
They have a lot of different views.
Best thing for you.
Yeah, I would assume.
The best thing for you. Have you seen fucking kids now?
Yeah,
Have you seen kids now? Are you fucking kidding me?
I think that's also
every kid should grow up with their grandparents right now.
Yeah, it's also just technology, though. You know what I mean?
No,
it's like
technology is a fucking disaster.
The way of life, it moves differently now. So you have to
social media
adjust.
and technology are a nightmare.
Yeah,
a fucking
it's different
nightmare.
Yeah, it's tough to navigate through. You want to know why? Because I
hate it.
I don't think human brains are wired to move at such a fast rate to adapt like that.
Right.
So it's almost like everybody's like going through shock because they don't know what to do. It's not a gradual.
It's too fast.
Getting used to it's too fast.
Too fast.
We're not wired to accept technology.
Nope, nobody knows what to do.
Yeah.
Kids crying, stick an iPad on them.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's brutal. Like, I hated living with my grandparents. Like when originally I fucking hated it. It was like
was it
old
very strict?
School. Yeah, it was fairly strict. I mean, but at the same time, they didn't know what they were doing, really. I mean, my mom was ruthless. She just did whatever she wanted.
She put them through hell.
Right. So they were trying to now all of a sudden they have us and they're like, oh, fuck, what do we do? So they were a little more lax with us, but at the same time, we grew up in a different era. Like in the 90s, like you were outside all the time.
All the time.
That's all we did. We were outside all the time.
Outside.
Like we came home for dinner, we went to sleep, we went to school, we played outside.
Yeah, that's all we did.
Like we were never inside the house. I could barely tell you what the fucking house looked like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bizarre.
We were just outside all the time. So it's just a different world. So being with the grandparents, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was just living. I don't know.
Yeah.
We were outside all the time.
So they would get you ready for school.
Try this, dude. Belgian.
What, the Belgian? I'll take a sip.
This is a lambic. I just poured him up a lambic. He's gonna fucking hate it.
He poured up a.
He's gonna. He
opened up. What is that? What's the name of this?
This is a 3 Fontaine,
and it's a
Belgian Fontaine.
Belgium lambics.
Yeah, it's an Ode Goose.
Oof, the faux smells funky.
2018. Dude. Yeah.
This smells like straight
breaking out some
dude.
OG funky lambic stuff.
It smells like I'm about to drink fucking Gorgonzola, dude.
It smells like urine from the gods.
Dude, it smells horrible.
It's awful.
I can't do this.
He's gonna hate it. Let's say,
Nah, it's not that bad. Oh, I literally feel like
It's actually pretty good.
I don't know, man. It's funky to me.
It's super funky. Yeah, it's got a funk to it. But I'm
feel
not
like
gonna lie, it's got like a nice sour. It's not bad.
I feel like I'm in a barn and there's a goat just shooting fluid down my throat, bro.
You're like in old Europe right now, dude. You're in a Belgian barn just drinking fucking goat piss.
Yeah, I feel like there's a farmer just fucking dumping
This ain't
out his
bad, dude.
bladder in
Come
my
on.
mouth.
I think it's pretty good, actually.
I can't do it, dude.
All right, you don't have to.
I appreciate you bringing it, though.
Nah, dude, we
Fresh.
talked about lambics for how long, you know? I got to bring one.
Oof. Yeah, it's very sour.
It's tart.
It's very fucking tart.
It's tart, but it's not. It's all right. I don't love it either. It's decent. I've had way better, but I go.
So back to your you getting raised by your grandparents, etc. Your mom comes back.
Yeah, mom comes back. She just like comes flying back in. And this was such a crazy part because like I was like living awesome, man. We had the best block in Verona, man.
It was good. Cul-de-sac.
Oh, Linwood.
Not even. It was like
shout out to Linwood, Verona.
like a dead
dude.
end. Like
what a fucking the Sodermans, the Staudingers, right?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
It was a good block.
Great block. So we just would crush it every day. And then she just rolls in. Here comes Storm from the X-Men, just fucking rolls in. And
were you like nervous? Like, were you scared when she came back?
No. Like, cause
did you miss her?
No,
Like,
I mean,
you don't really recall.
I don't know. I was just like happy being a kid, bro. At that point, like, so that's the thing. Like, the misconception of my life is like, I had it tough after the fact. This wasn't the worst of times. My grandfather gave us like a solid life, you know? Like, there's a lot internally that sucks about not having the mom, the dad, but you know, Pop did a fucking great job. He really did. He did an amazing job. And the part that really sucks is that when she just sweeps back in and then just peels us out of there. Like me and my brother just got like a really good thing going in Verona.
Oh, man.
Like we got friends. We have like, we're in school. We
established a life.
We're established a life. We had these awesome friends. We're like, they're the best friends we ever had. And then she just packs up and goes, we're leaving. And it's like, what the fuck?
Man.
That was so brutal, dude. I never cried harder in my life. I was like,
Really?
and it was so abrupt. Like we left school, the last day of school, 7th grade, and we're playing at the high school. You remember by the tennis courts?
Of course.
Some people listening have no idea. The tennis courts up by the high school. And we're up there playing football, and she like rolls up and she's like, all right, it's time to go.
Damn.
And that was it. It was like, and next thing you know, we're just like fucking driving away to North Jersey in the woods.
And you were just with her by her, was she with her man at the time? Or
No, it was just her at the time. And then, you know, she was with this guy, John, at the time, but this was just her, you know.
And what was her reasoning
In this
for
moment.
packing up and going there?
Well, she didn't want to live under grandfather's rule, right? And she wanted to do it by herself, which I respect and regard. But fuck, man, like we just fucking packed up and went to North Jersey, where it's like crazy in the woods, nothing there.
I remember when you left. I'll never forget.
We first drove up this hill and it was like, holy shit, there's nothing here. We're living like hobbits.
I was just starting to get to know you at that point.
I know. Yeah. 5th, 6th, 7th grade. And then I would come back down, right? Once I moved up there, I would come back down every summer. And that's when we really became like really super tight.
And then I would go up there.
Right.
Remember?
Right.
Stay
no,
weekends,
you were
weeks.
a staple up there, dude.
Yeah.
Like I talk about, people up there to you all the time. They're like, oh, fucking hell, dude. How's he doing?
That was some of the best times
Like
I ever
you
had in
met
my
some
life,
people
dude.
up there that really, you impacted some people up there that
That's
know you
awesome,
for
man.
life, bro.
They impacted me.
You're
you
a
know?
lifer up there.
Dude, I told you, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, like you literally are a brother from another mother. I'm an only child, so I never had a brother, but you are up there with like, you are my brother, bro. You know, there's not a day that goes by I don't think about you.
So we had some times, didn't we?
Yeah, dude, I'll never forget because you and I were both into BMX.
By the way, you came up and then I would come back down and stay with you.
Yeah.
With you and Ma Dukes.
Oh, man.
Let me tell
Rest
you.
in peace. Between her and your grandfather,
Stop.
it's a fucking
Your mom made those sweet tomato pies. Oh my
The
God.
fucking pizzelles, bro. The little pizzas, bro. Those things were fucking.
Have you talked about them on here or no?
No, this is the first time. I was telling my wife about them. They were stoop.
The greatest. So good.
The best. But I remember, like you said, when you started to come back, I'll never forget when you left. I was like, damn, bro, where are you going?
Just
You're
peaced
like,
out, yeah.
Mount Arlington. I'm like,
I
where
told
the
you.
fuck is that?
It was just like, it was so abrupt. We
Yeah, I
just
didn't know
left.
that. That's a, we grew up in Verona. That's like a suburban,
Right.
heavily suburban, clean, white, Pleasantville-esque town. And you went out to the sticks.
Straight up woods.
I was like, damn, like I was just getting to know you. I was like, fuck, like I like this guy.
Right in the woods.
And I always looked up to you because, you know, we were both into BMX. We had a lot of similar interests. We're both collectors, so that's why we hit it off.
Yeah, for sure.
But the bikes, I'll never forget, man. There was behind HB Whitehorn School off the side, there was a dirt hill by the pit.
I was trying to do the 360.
And you did it one day.
Yeah.
I'll never
Yeah.
forget. What bike was it that you had?
That was the Ryan Nyquist X2.
That's what it was, that
Yellow.
Nyquist. Wow.
Yeah, Nyquist X2. A little souped up. You know, I had it pretty decked out.
But I just, it was between you and there was two other kids. I don't know if you remember them. There was always local legends, right? When it comes to rollerblading, biking. The rollerblading was Charles Oaken and company.
Yeah, Oaken
he was the rollerblader. He was the god, right?
Yeah.
But then there was bikes.
He was
There
like a West Orange guy, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was West Orange.
Yeah.
I still talk to him once in a
No
while.
way.
Yeah, I'll link you up with him.
My buddy that lived up by us now knows him well. They were good buddies.
Really?
Big fishing guy now.
Dude, he's got a big house in Montville. He's got like a bunch of cars that he
Come on.
drag races. He rides quads all the time.
No way.
Dude, has a garage door company.
My buddy Dan Goycom, shout out to Dan Goycom, knows.
Goycom. What a name.
Yeah, knows
Fresh
him well.
Goycom.
He's a West Orange guy.
No shit.
Rollerblader, yeah.
That's
I met him through
fucking
fishing. He
bonkers.
goes, oh, you know Charles Oaken? I go, fuck yeah.
I mean, that dude was a local legend.
Legend, dude.
But do you remember there was two other kids? There was these bikers. They were twins, but they weren't bikers like you, BMX. These guys had like mountain bikes.
Oh, right.
And these guys would like jump
They did
the
the
nine
jumping
stair.
stuff. Yeah.
Remember? They were just like the real balancing stuff. But
Yeah,
then there
what
was
the
you with the BMX. And I never forget you were trying. I never met somebody that was able to do a 360
I
off
was
a
so
jump.
hard on it too, remember?
Remember when you landed that?
I couldn't stop doing it until I did it.
Dude, you were a fucking legend for
That was at the
shit.
pit.
The pit.
Yeah.
That's where everybody, to those who don't know what the pit is, there's a middle school in Verona called HB Whitehorn, HBW. And it's weird because it looks like a presidential, it looks like not only a college campus, but it looks like you're going to Washington, D.C.
Yeah, it does. When you walk up to it, it's like,
You got the library,
The
the police,
columns and shit, yeah.
It's really crazy. Then in the back, there's like a track, but to the right by the woods, there was something what we call the pit, and the
Yeah.
local kids would go there to fight each other. We're gonna meet at the
yeah, it was
pit
like a
after
dump
school,
for like all their sand and shit.
Yeah.
You know, they just dumped everything back there.
and kids would go there to smoke cigarettes, drink, fight. Meet me at the pit after school. That's like how kids would go to the flagpole. We'd go to the pit in
I did
HB
all of it.
Whitehorn, and they had a dirt hill there. And that's where you did the 360 jump with your Nyquist.
I took it. That was a while though.
You were a legend, though, dude.
I did not stop until I got it.
Nobody was doing that in the area.
That was sick.
Dude, you're hitting a jump.
Well,
Doing
because
360
So to be honest, I was in Mount Arlington for about a year or so.
at that point.
At that point, yeah. And up in here in the woods of Mount Arlington by me.
all they did.
That's all they did, man. Woods riding.
Yeah.
It was just like I got into this crazy woods stuff with these guys, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy up there.
It's a different world.
It's a different world. And like these guys were so into woods riding and like, you make everything a jump.
Real
fucking
BMX.
rock and like, yeah.
that real dirt BMX shit.
Oh yeah. Really great. I met some good dudes and we just got so into dirt riding. So when I came back to Verona, it was a different thing. When I was trying that 360, but oh fuck.
You already had some skill.
They're bunny hopping and shit. And I'm trying to 360 off a fucking sand hill in the back of the pit.
Yeah. No, it was
Like a
legendary, dude.
psychopath. And you were so hyped.
I was so hyped.
I
dude.
remember that shit. When I landed that, you're like, oh fuck, he got it.
I told everybody, dude. I told everybody as a kid. I was like, yo, my boy CJ did a 360 off this dirt jump. Well, dude, I love bigging up my guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you were
you
were
are.
always a big inspiration for me when it came to BMX and all that. Remember, I was bunny hopping milk cartons.
Yeah. I got the pictures to prove it, dude.
Yeah, I was ass.
I send
but
you
I had
those all the
fun.
time, yeah.
I had fun, man.
I got into skateboarding too. I was pretty good at that. No,
Oh, you
not
were
bad.
good. Any type of sport like that, you always picked up. You had a natural knack for it.
Yeah.
You picked up on it easy.
I don't know
Easy.
about that. It took me a little bit.
You picked up on it. Yeah. Anything you
I
did,
just
you
like that
dominated.
stuff. Because, I tried the baseball, the football, the soccer and shit. And listen, shout out to Verona Soccer. I played great there.
Shout out Ryan Eunice. You played with him, right?
Yeah. And I did some football in Verona, right? Anthony Fasano ended up being a
Dolphin.
professional, right?
Miami Dolphin.
I played with those guys. But the league sports, I was like, it was tough for me.
Yeah.
So, skateboarding, BMXing. Now it's different. I do cornhole, I do darts, I do pool. It's those solo sports and shit, dude.
Yeah.
I love it. Because it's on you. It's on you. You're going to get better or nothing. Bowling, bro. You're a bowling guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we
it's
had a
on
lot
you.
of fun,
There's
man.
nobody's going to help you. It's you.
You fuck up, you fuck up. It's
You
on
fuck up, you fuck up. Bingo.
Uh-huh.
You nailed it.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
So that was fun about BMX and skateboarding is like, hey, you learn at your own pace. You do good at your own pace. Like, don't worry about how good the next guy is. Just be as good as you could be when you do it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I like those solo sports. I always have. That's why I've been doing the fishing thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why it worked out for me, the fishing stuff. And I did very successful with that.
Speaking of fishing, did you get into that in Verona? Or did you get into that when you moved out to Mount Arlington because of Lake Apacon?
A great question. I did get into it in Verona, and it's a cool story too. When I was with my grandfather, I want to say I was 9 or probably right when my grandmother died, 95, 96. My grandfather took me to Picatinny Arsenal to do a fishing tournament.
Oh, wow.
Never
Picatinny.
fished in my life to this point, right? And we're fishing all day, 5, 6, 7 hours. Nothing. Not a fucking bite. My grandfather had no idea. He'd never fished in his fucking life.
But he just wanted to give you the experience.
Yeah, of course. He's like, let's take you to the fishing tournament. So we're walking to this pond, and we're walking around, and this fucking awesome black dude's like, hey, come here. He's talking to my grandfather, and he goes, hey, what's the matter? And I'm pissed. He's like, what's the matter? I go, I'm not catching anything. Fishing sucks. No, fishing's not about that. It's about spending time out here. I don't want to hear it. I'm pissed. I'm like, fuck this. No, it's not about hanging out here. I hate this shit.
You have a competitive spirit, so.
Yeah. I want to catch something, So he's, all right, let me hook you up with something. He hooks me up with this little fucking power bait or something. So I cast it out there, and I'm watching the pink little lure go back and forth in the water. And all of a sudden it disappears. What the fuck? Where'd it go? My rod starts going, right? Boom, boom, boom. Holy shit. I don't know what to do. I don't even start reeling. I just run as fast as I can backwards.
All the other direction.
I just fucking run backwards, and I get this fish. It's like a pound and change, whatever, trout. I am ecstatic. I'm like, that was the most exciting thing I've ever been through in my life. At this point, I'm like, holy shit, I'm 10 years old. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me. So we weigh it in, ends up taking second place.
Wow.
I win a fishing rod. And from that moment on,
That started your journey.
I've been like crazy about fishing. I'm like, I won my own fishing rod. Oh my God, this is the fucking greatest thing ever. And then I went to the Staudingers, shout out to them again. They had Val, Dan and Eric's mom, had a boyfriend, Jack, who took me to this Edison fishing show. And we went there, and like then, so fishing's so cool for this reason. I loved catching the fish. That was like the precipice, right? That's what you do. Okay, you go out there, you want to catch a fish. But what's so cool about fishing for me, and Al, you'll so respect this in every regard, the collecting aspect of fishing.
Yeah,
It's
I bet.
fucking wild. So we go to this fishing show, and there's a worm bar, and you can get every size of every worm in different colors.
Really?
So for me, the collector in me back in the day was like, oh my God, I can buy orange worms, purple worms, fucking green pumpkin worms. So like it hits on every facet for me fishing. It's competitive, the excitement of catching a fish, and the collecting of these fishing lures. Like it's almost like a collection thing too.
Yeah.
So it just, all those things hit on every level for me.
And it just, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's
that
what
was
got
how
me
you
into
got
it.
into fishing.
And then I've had a solid career since with fishing.
You know, present day, you're a co-angler, the whole nine. You compete in many tournaments every year. I made a pin named after you.
Which
the
is
whole Sick. Did I
might get
sponsor
that
your
tattooed
jersey?
on me, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
If you need the vector, I'll give it to you.
No, I need it because
Yeah,
I
I'll give
might
it to
get
you.
that tattooed on me. No, I've been to a national championship, top 50 in the country in 2013.
Sick.
Was insane.
Yeah, that's crazy. I never knew how you got into fishing, but I was thinking that it probably started in Verona.
Yeah.
We used to fish in the Verona Park a lot for sunnies.
Oh, Verona Park. I still fish it like once a year just
Go
to
through
do
the
it.
fence, go to the golf course.
Yes.
They stock the trout
Oh, yeah.
and the bass.
Yeah. And then when I moved to Mountain, it was like there's a lake in walking distance, Lake Opakam, biggest lake in New Jersey. So it just, the rest is history. I mean, I just would go down there every day in the summertime and just fish because I didn't know anybody. So I was like, fuck it, I'll go fishing.
So since at this point you're in Mount Arlington, right?
Mhm.
I want to stress to the listeners how important and instrumental this place is to your life. Even in mine, you know, your life changed so much when you moved to Mount Arlington.
Yeah, big time.
I noticed a difference in you when you moved there. Because I would see you, you would come back and I would go visit you, but you just found this happiness in Mount Arlington that I don't think you had in Verona.
Yeah, I have a tattoo that says MTA.
Yeah, I mean,
That's how much it means to me. I mean,
yeah. What does Mount Arlington, if you could put it in any sort of verbiage, what does that place mean to you? And how important was it, do you think, to your life moving there?
oh, it's detrimental.
And it started out, you didn't want to go up there.
No,
But it
I
was a
hated
blessing in
I hated
disguise.
it when I first got there. I fucking hated it. I was like, the woods. Look at this shit. There's, a house every 100 yards. This is crazy. But it got me into fishing, the outdoors, the woods, like stuff that I found that I really love, that I really genuinely fucking love. I love being outdoors. Like I love all that stuff. And the close knit of Mountain being so small, right? It's a really small town. There's not a lot of people there. So like now, like I always joke about being the mayor there now.
Yeah, no, you are.
Because everybody knows me. But it's such a small community, and I love that. You're not reaching out to a billion people. You're reaching out to a few hundred, a few thousand, and everybody knows you there.
Yeah.
It's such an amazing place. And I just, oh man, it just changed my whole life. Like the people there, the way they do things, everything's slowed down to just a touch, just enough, right? And it's really built on just being outdoors and living like just an easier life, just a simple, easier life. Like it's not monetary there, you know? It's just about just enjoying and like helping other people out. It's very community based, really great place.
No, it is.
I you've been there plenty.
I know it changed your life.
It's amazing.
I mean, when you first moved up there, I was like, what the fuck is that? I had never even heard of it, right?
Right. Nobody has. Still to this day, hopefully now, but
Yeah, but I remember when you moved out there and I was
it's
like, all right.
changed quite a bit if you've seen. I mean, if you've been out, it's-
I'm just trying to focus on like the time you were up there and the time that I got to experience it. I remember deciding I'm going to start going up there to visit you. My mom was always down, so she would like bring me up there, drop me off for a whole weekend, and we would just kick it. And I got to give you my perspective on this place.
Oh, I can't wait.
Because we came from Verona, a real, I never owned a home until now. So like we would always live in like 2-family homes, apartments and all that.
Yeah, I remember.
My mom would always try to like put me in a place that has a good schooling system, like a real
Sure,
suburb. She would always put me there. She would struggle just to have me in the suburbs. So we were in Verona. Verona's a very nice town, almost like Pleasantville. Schooling system's fantastic. Kids, area, cops, safe, the whole nine.
Love it.
So going up there, I had never at this point in my life seen what it was like for that type of area. A lot of woods, a lot of space, and the people up there are different. So when I went up there and I started seeing the woods and stuff, I'm like, oh, this is different. But let me tell you something, man. When I landed and I got out that car and I started hanging out with you, and you just, number one, you're probably the best dude I ever met. You're the most friendliest human being I ever met. And you introduced me and welcomed me in your new environment with open arms.
Right.
And you introduced me to all the people that you accumulated over this small period of time.
Yeah.
And I never felt more wanted and welcome in an environment in my life.
That's great.
Even though MTA changed your life, it changed my life as well.
I hope so, man. Because
I want to cry thinking about it right now.
dude.
The people I met there, even though we did the craziest shit, and that place is a podcast in itself, truthfully.
There's so many people that like consider you like fucking family up there too. Like I talk to people daily. They're like, how's Al doing?
They're all my family.
It's so crazy.
And I thank you, because if you never moved there, I probably would have never experienced that place. And I love everybody from it. And it's just, I told you, that sense of community. I never had that in that stuffy
That's what I'm talking about.
environment we grew up in.
Yep.
Verona's
Going to Rollo's basement.
dude, you never Mitsubishi squeeze my peachy, Stevie Sokola,
Right?
the whole nine.
The OGs of Mountain, yeah.
Now I probably got in a lot of trouble up there,
Well, you know.
but
That's what we did.
it was a different environment. It gave me,
It was like the Wild West up there too a little bit.
oh shit.
We just did whatever we wanted.
But it gave me this sense of community that I've never experienced. Nobody judged you up there.
No.
You could unadulterated, it was unadulterated fun. You could 100% be yourself. Nobody was judging you, and that's what I loved about that place the most. It was so real, so raw.
Yeah.
So natural.
And I still do. And I love the people there so much. I mean, I really do. Like, genuinely love everybody that I live around.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for Romano. Shout out to the MTA fam.
Yeah, dude.
Roxbury, the whole nine, Sucasana,
Some great guys.
Netcon, the whole nine,
Yeah.
It was a great place, but I never forget going up there and just experiencing that and just like, and I was like happy that my mom was like cool with it and would like just bring me there. And she never once like said to me, like, I don't want you hanging out up here. Never.
Oh, come on.
My mom
The best.
like, love,
Super
even though we did
quiet.
some wild shit,
Oh, my God.
Al's Woods and all that.
How about that, right?
Knowles Beach.
How about Knowles Beach running from the cops, right?
You remember that, dude? I was ghostini, bro. I was gone, bro. I miss those days, bro.
Oh, my God. We're drinking and the cops
Go
come
ahead,
at Knowles
you
fucking
gotta
Beach.
tell the
And
story for the listeners.
we're hanging out. We're drinking at Knowles Beach. And
Was
just
this my
like,
second time there? Or no.
no, second, third, somewhere in there.
What I found
fourth
interesting
time.
was when I'm trying to put this in perspective for the listeners, because
This is so great.
so when I first came up there, we hung out a lot at. Obviously, it was Mount Arlington, but a lot of the times we hung out at Steve Sokola's house. Shout out to my guy Stevie.
Yeah. Center of Mountain.
It's the center. So if I could explain to the listeners, picture a street that is like a circle surrounding some sort of like wildlife reservation, because in the middle it was kind of woodsy.
Yeah.
It had a bridge, right? If I remember correctly.
Where the gazebo was?
There was a gazebo.
Yeah.
And there was houses all
That's the
around.
Glen. That's
this-
the Glen.
That's the Glen?
Yeah.
Okay. And there was houses all around this
Yeah.
this plot of land. And Rollo lived on the other side.
Yeah.
And Stevie lived on the other.
Right.
Then to the right, there was
The beach down below.
there was Knowles
And the
Beach
pond
up a
up
little
top.
more, but there was the boat area. What was that called?
Barnes Brothers?
Well, the boats are where fucking Richie took the fire extinguisher out and started
Barnes
spraying
Brothers.
people.
Yeah.
So that's
the marina.
spot.
The marina.
And
Yeah.
then behind Stevie's house was the main Howard Boulevard.
Yep.
There was Pat's Bar there. Metro had the best tail and mac and cheese.
Yeah.
The whole nine.
New China.
New China, dude. The only
Some of the
Chinese
best
food
Chinese food
restaurant
ever.
that employed white people.
Ever. I worked there. It was my first job.
I've never been to a Chinese restaurant. You walk in and there's no Asians behind the counter. And I don't know what cat heart they were feeding me with the silver chicken, but it was delicious.
The best, dude. Silver chicken, bro. Shout
Remember
out to
the
silver chicken, right? Yeah.
I've never been to a Chinese restaurant that
No.
served that.
Still there.
Do they still have silver chicken?
Yeah, it's not as good, though. They change ownership. I mean, no offense, New China, but step it up. Step your shit up.
For the listeners, silver chicken, you ordered silver chicken. It came with 3 pieces of foil. You like opened the silver foil open, and it looked literally like a cat's heart.
It looked so bad.
A cat's like a barbecued
It
cat's
looked so
heart.
fucking bad.
But it was so good. But
They
that was
still
where,
have it.
Do they?
Yeah, it's not as good, though, I'm telling you.
But was also good there was the fried wontons, and you put me up on game. What was
I just did it. Like 2 weeks ago, I had the girl over and she comes over and she's like, "What are you eating?" I'm like, "Oh, fried wontons." And the key to fried wontons, I told Al this, and we got into this years ago. You take the fried wontons and you bite the corner off, just the corner, right? Lets a little steam out, lets the heat out, and then you pour in a little soy sauce, or
No, this.
dumpling sauce.
That.
Right? Which is like the real heat. And you just pour a little in there. And then you take a fucking bite. And it's like a fucking nutsack of flavor.
It's a flavor explosion.
How good is that?
Dude, and their wontons, when they
they're
came
fried
out.
wontons, dude.
Dude, they were
They're
light,
still super gas.
light, airy, golden crisp.
Yeah.
And that dumpling sauce they had this beautiful sweetness.
So good.
You had to ask for the dumpling
Yeah,
sauce.
yeah.
Because dumpling sauce came with
That was
dumplings.
an added feature.
You know, I do that here. Whenever I order, if I want, I
you?
say, can I have dumpling sauce
You get them
inside?
here too?
Yeah, they're not like that. They're not like that place.
They're different?
Of course. They're not as good as New China. New China's the best Chinese food I ever had in my life, dude.
I'll tell you, it sucks that New China changed. It's not nearly as good, but I'll tell you, New China in its prime was unbelievable.
The cream cheese wontons
Come on.
were stupid.
The crab rangoon, the cheese wontons.
Dude, you had New China right there, and then you had Metro, which was like, if you could imagine to the listeners, a Krausers.
Yeah, it was a Krausers, yeah.
It was called Metro Mart.
Yeah,
Was that
Metro
what it was
Mart,
called?
yep.
Metro
Yep.
Mart.
Still there.
They had, you could go there. This is the only place where you could open a little door, a little heated door, and they had Taylor ham, egg, and cheese. But then they had the fucking spiral bun. Remember the
Yeah.
spiral bun? What was that about?
Honey buns, 50 cents.
Stupid.
2 for $1 honey buns, bro.
Dude, I miss that place, man. But Mount Arlington, man, we used to go up there, cause a lot of mischief, but it gave me an insight to a different life, a different area, a different environment.
It really was,
You know?
totally different. Like Essex County, and this is so it's so weird because how the counties work, right, in Jersey. So like Essex County, you think, oh, Essex County, the city, you know, you got Verona, Montclair, all the Essex County gems, and then you go Morris County, you're like, oh, we got Morristown. It's not that woodsy, but right, go northern Morris,
Yeah.
really woodsy. Up in Lake Apacon area. That's where
Really
we're at.
woodsy.
Like we're on the precipice. We're on the border of Sussex County. So it's a lot of woods,
Real backwoods, yeah.
a lot of lakes, a lot of woods, a lot of quad riding. Remember like all the quad riding,
Yeah.
Stevie and them? It's just, it's different, man. It's a different deal.
It's a different,
You know,
different
and I
walk
love
of
them
life.
both so much though. Like I almost, and I hate, let me quiet this down. I want to quiet this down for the mountain people, but I almost tried to move back to Verona.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, after our first house, we looked around Verona quite a bit
Dude, I love Verona.
because I love it so much.
So
But
do
it's
I.
It was so fucking expensive. It was tough,
Yeah, it's
and
expensive.
I wanted to move back because I love Verona. And listen, again, no,
No, it is what it is.
I don't want my MA peeps to be pissed, but fact is, I did look, but
Yeah.
I live in my gem.
Yeah, MTA is, like I said, man, the people I met there, you know, when I see them, and I don't have to see some of them for 10, 15 years. When I see them, it's like, oh.
Daryl was asking about you today.
Daryl, my man, Cusack, bro.
Yo, he was asking about you today. He's like, yo, how's Daryl? How's Al doing?
When's he going to come out here, bro?
I'll get him out.
Tell him to come out Saturday.
Yeah.
He ain't coming out.
I want to get him out. He's Daryl.
Yeah, he's Daryl. I love everybody up
He'll
there,
get
dude.
out though.
I had some of the best times of my life up there.
Yeah.
Like I tried as much as I could to go up there every weekend. It was a nice getaway from the suburban life that I was used to, you know. It was a really nice getaway, and I just felt more welcome up there. I just loved everyone that much more. You know, there wasn't that stuffy holier than thou like.
And
you
it's
know.
funny because every time I bring you up, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to hang out with Al. They're like, oh, fuck, Al Sauce. Yo, tell him what's up. They love you, dude. It's
Dude,
like,
I had the best
you
times
become,
up there.
I told you, you're up there, you become family. It's like,
That's what I mean. The community, the sense of
you
community.
come up there now,
there.
you come up tomorrow. It's like, you know.
Dude, we had the
Family, bro.
craziest times up there. The craziest shit.
Yeah, the time. Bring it back to Knowles Beach, dude.
Dude, that
We're
was the
getting
best
fucking
time ever.
drunk on the beach. We're drinking vodka out of the bottle. Like, you know, a bunch of kids were like in our 20s, early 20s. I mean,
I think I don't even have my license then.
no, we were 21. Wink.
Yeah.
No, we weren't at
Hell
all.
no.
But
I was
fact
like
is,
16, bro.
we're like drinking on the beach. Fucking cops come with the fucking lights and shit.
I was Gandhi.
And, you know, I know where I'm going, right? Stevie knows where I was going. These guys know where they're going. We all peace out. We meet in a certain location, and fucking Al just takes off. Takes off. Might as well be in his underwear, just fucking
I had to, bro.
straight just gunning it, dude.
I had to. I didn't know where the fuck was going.
And just kept running though. Kept running. We're like, where's he at, dude? Where the
chubby
fuck
ass,
is this
bro.
guy? And we all reconvene at one spot. We're like, yo, all right, cops are gone. What's up? Where's Al? He's still fucking running.
I was
Still
gone,
running.
bro.
Just fucking running, dude.
I was back by Stevie's house almost, I think.
By the time we all got together, you were back by Stevie's.
I had to go, bro.
And we reconvened. We found you and everything. It was good.
Dude, that was the first place that I learned to
Shit
drive
was
a
so
car.
funny, though, dude. You took off like crazy.
Do you remember that?
But you were smart, though. You were better than most.
I had to get out, bro.
Cops came.
I wasn't trying to get caught, bro.
You were gone. See ya.
I wasn't trying to get caught. After
amazing.
fucking Stevie and Shane
You were
Connors.
so amazing, though. You just pieced out.
Remember they flipped the boat? They went out, they
Yeah.
stole somebody's boat, took it
I
out on
was
the
on
fucking...
it with Rolo.
Then it tipped. Remember
Yeah,
they
we
tipped it
flipped
over?
over in November. It was cold as fuck.
Smoking a bowl, dude. Smoking a fucking bully. Smoking a chillum.
Speaking of smoking a bowl, by the way, I quit smoking weed. You know that?
When?
It's like 5 weeks ago.
No shit.
I swear to God.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Quit smoking weed.
Wow.
Best thing ever.
Look at that. What made you do that?
It's not for everybody, but I don't know. I just don't like the way weed makes me.
Good for you. You
Not
don't
for
need
me.
that shit.
No. I mean, listen, I loved smoking weed. I did it for years, but I've come to the conclusion that it's not for me.
Good for you, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, you don't need that shit.
No.
You gonna quit drinking too or no?
No chance.
Everybody's gonna have their vice, right?
As I'm sipping a fucking lambic.
So around this time when you moved up to MTA,
Yeah, where are we? Hold on. Let's read for the listeners, by the way. Where are we?
we're
right
getting
now?
real drunk, having a good time.
I know. Where are we?
Well, this is about the time when you moved up there. Let's call it 8th grade, right?
All right, we're in Mountain.
I started
We're
coming
out
out
of
there at this
Verona.
point.
Mom's back. We're in Mountain. All right.
Where was your spot? Because you were right next to Stevie's house.
Yeah, right next door.
You had a spot. Now,
Yeah, right next door.
was she there with John or just with you and your brother?
So at this point, for the listeners, my mom got with a guy from John was from Montville, and they bought a house in Mountain. We packed up, moved from Verona into Mountain, and then so we're here now.
Yeah. And that was when I started coming up.
Yeah, yeah. So every couple weekends, Al would come up.
Hang out, keep in touch, stay. Sometimes I would stay a week straight.
Right, we
We'd
did a
get into
biking thing, the
mischief.
skateboarding thing,
Drinking, getting fucked up,
down the beach,
Fighting.
fucking cops come. Yeah,
doing wild shit. So I got to experience that part of life.
Yeah.
But then once in a while, you'd still come back down.
oh for sure. Yeah.
At this point in your life, is this when you said that your mom had another kid?
Yeah.
How the fuck did I miss all that?
So this is, let's see, we went through 7th grade, 8, 9, 10, I'd say freshman year-ish, Roxbury High School. My mom goes, hey, CJ, how would you feel about us having another kid? And I'm like, I hate it. That's a terrible idea. And she goes, too bad. I'm having a kid. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So she did. And she had a kid. And
How did I miss all this?
yeah, this was a little bit later. It was like a weird transition time where we were just about to move to Pennsylvania, which I didn't know, by the way. This is another fucked up. So, all right, for the listeners. So I'm living in this place, Mountain. Great, awesome time. All the times that Al mentioned, fucking, we're in the woods. We're doing quad rides, the whole fucking thing. Everything, life was amazing. Met my first amazing girlfriend. Everything was fucking great. And then come junior year, at the end of junior year, my mom goes, we're moving. What the fuck are you talking about? We're moving. We moved to Pennsylvania. Remember that?
Yeah.
So that was like, that was the destroyer of my whole life. Cause like everything prior, I could just like shut down and say, well, you know, it wasn't that bad. We moved, we did this and this because we had to. Right. This was like a total fucking smack in the face. Like you moved me up to this place. I didn't want to be here. Ended up falling in love with it. Best place ever. Like made it my hometown, you know, and shout out to Verona. Verona's my original OJ. But like Mountain became my like thing.
Yeah.
And then we just pack up when we're going to Pennsylvania. Like, what the fuck? It crushed my whole fucking life, dude. Like, it shot me down like you couldn't believe. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess we're fucking moving, right? So I break up with my girlfriend, which was absolutely brutal. We go to Pennsylvania.
And this was junior year of high school.
End of junior year. End of junior year. So I'm about to go into my senior year, right? I have a ton of friends. We're having a good time. This is like, I finally made this place my place. And then we're moving again.
Did you ask your mom why?
Yeah, we got evicted.
What was her reason?
It was just like, it didn't work out. So
yeah, I feel you. So when you're there, like, did you ever ask your mother, like, why the fuck are we moving?
I hated it.
What is the reasoning by us leaving? I know you said you got evicted, right?
Oh, I fucking hated it. Yeah.
But you can move anywhere. Why Pennsylvania?
Right.
Is it because it's cheaper?
Cheaper. Yeah. Cheaper was always a question. And I fucking despised it, dude.
So did she have her kid in Pennsylvania or in MTA?
In MTA.
And then what happened to the kid?
And we just moved. Like
with the kid?
Almost immediately, yeah.
With the kid?
Yeah.
You know what? I think I remember the kid
Little
now.
John, yeah.
I remember the kid now.
Yeah, he had a little disability.
What was it?
I think it was like drugs.
Yeah, because your
kid gets a little fucked up.
So
he had some like vision problems and shit.
Let me go back a little bit now, because around the times before your mom gets arrested, right? Mm-hmm. And your mom, I have to backtrack, and you guys were moving around a lot before your mom went to prison.
Let's
right?
go all the way back. Yeah,
before your mom went to prison.
Yeah,
your mom was into drugs at this point,
right?
Right?
Yeah.
Did you know this?
No, I didn't know that at all. I was a kid, but
when did you find out? MTA? Is that when you found out your mom was into drugs?
No, I think I had a good inkling pre-MTA, I think, in Verona. I think I had a thought of like maybe it's, drug related. I think 7th grade you could start to get a little heady about stuff like that.
Yeah.
7th grade like became clear.
Well, your mind is building in general.
Yeah.
As you get older.
I was like, burglary. Like I forget how I found out even, to be honest with you. I think I just overheard a conversation about burglary and I was like, oh fuck, burglary. Like, why would she be burglaring, right? My grandfather was not well off, but he was doing okay, right?
So you are questioning things at this age.
Yeah. So it's about 7th grade, which is like a turning point. I was like, oh fuck. Like, what's really going on?
Yeah.
And then I forget when I really found out. I still think it was like seventh grade, 8th, 7th, 8th grade. Because 7th, 8th grade was like the changing point. 7th, end of 7th, moved to Mountain. So right in there, I had that.
You were like 15?
Yeah. And I found, we moved, this is funny, it's a good one. We moved to Mountain, right? Our first like 2 weeks there, we lived in this like bungalow, tiny little, like 2-bedroom house in Mountain.
Is this the one next to Stevie's or?
Behind Stevie's.
Oh, wow.
Not right next door. I don't even think you came up to this one.
I didn't.
We were there for like 6 months. And it was like, we had it sheeted off as like bedrooms. It was like
Really?
one bedroom, but it was like sheeted off as a.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then my mom went out and me and my brother were like dicking around playing like tag and hide and seek and shit. And I was sitting on my mom's couch in her cordoned off master bedroom. And I dug in the couch and I found weed. I was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, really?
Like 7th grade, but I knew it. I was like, oh, fuck, that's weed, but I don't know what weed is.
Yeah.
I knew what it was, but I didn't know what it was. You know, it's like that weird fucking, like you knew what it was, but you didn't want to know. You didn't want to know what it was.
I understand.
Right? And then like everything kind of clicked a little bit after that. Like my mom ended up teaching me how to roll a fucking joint and stuff. Like,
wow, what age?
That was like freshman year, maybe.
So were you smoking with her?
Not yet. Like sophomore year, junior year, I smoked with my mom a couple times.
Let me ask you this: when she started teaching you how to roll a joint, did you ask her, "Why are you teaching me?"
No. So she caught me with weed. junior year, me and a couple buddies were like hanging out. Like I was trying to roll a joint and like, I don't know, I was making a fucking mess of it. And she comes into the room and we're like scrambling, like, fuck, hide it. She's like, what are you guys doing? Nothing. She's like, give me the fucking thing. You know, she knew. Yeah. She was cool like that. Like cool like that, but I don't know. It's such a weird.
You don't want your parent to be cool like that, but she was cool like that.
Yeah. So
that's what you're saying.
Like,
yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like that's the hardest thing I think I grew up with ever is that my mom was cool like that, but do you want your parent to be cool like that? Right.
Yeah.
So like, that's the weird line I kind of walked my whole life with my parents and everything is like, she taught me how to roll a joint. It was awesome. It was so cool. Like at the time, like my friends were there and she like taught me how to roll a joint. That's great. But like, if we could have kept it to weed, fine. We didn't keep it to weed. You know what I'm saying?
What happened?
So my mom was a in and out heroin addict. And that's the tricky part about drugs in general. You know, with everybody talks about like, oh, weed, gateway drug and all that. Nah, fuck. If you smoke weed, you smoke weed. You drink, you drink.
Yeah.
If you like fucking heroin, so be it. But my mom was into that shit, and she had a tricky time with it, and that's what gets you into
and
burglarizing and stealing things because you don't have enough money to substantiate paying rent and doing all that stuff. So you end up burglarizing stuff. I mean, that's just how it works.
Yeah. You take.
I hate saying it. I hate saying it, but it's the absolute fucking truth. And you know, sorry, Ma, but fucking truth is what it is.
Listen, I mean, you and I both collectively have known so many people that have fell victim to painkiller addiction, heroin addiction. It's the same thing. It's just a different form.
Right.
You and I both have like been through it all. And we've seen people, I mean, me personally, I was caught up in painkillers for quite a bit. You know, I was able to escape that, but I was in it for quite a bit. But you and I both collectively have known people that have started there, ended up in heroin, or just went right to heroin. We both know people that are still in it, you know, that go on. But what was that like for you, like realizing your own mother was in it?
When it was early, like just the weed smoking stuff, it was like, oh, I have a cool mom, right? She smokes weed. She's bought us booze before. That's cool, right? And when you're, 16 to 19 or whatever, it's cool. You're like, oh, it's cool. You think it's so cool.
Yeah.
But then when you realize what's really going on and, she's doing serious drugs, it becomes not so cool because it becomes a problem. And, I never really knew what she did for work, right? But she didn't work.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what did she do for a living?
She didn't. So that was the tricky part about figuring out all this stuff about my mom and how she facilitated her life and everything. Like, so that's the hard part about it is like finding out about all this stuff afterwards about like, oh, my mom's cool. She could hang. And then realizing that she's doing, worse drugs than I thought.
Yeah.
And that's the scary thing. So you end up deep diving on heroin addicts and this and that. And it's just something I've never been interested in, but it's a scary deal. Like shit is the scariest stuff that I could ever imagine. And now there's even worse with fentanyl and stuff. Like forget about that. But like, just bring it back to heroin for a second. Like that shit is scary stuff, man.
Very.
Like you get addicted to that, you are fucked. Like that shit lives with you forever, virtually. I mean, like, thank God I just was evasive enough to stay away from it. But I mean, I had friends do it. I had friends die from it. But
both of us. Yeah.
It's just, that shit's no good, man.
It's no good.
I don't know. It's just scary.
It's no good. Let me ask you this. When you, so I would guess it would be safe to say that you found out about this around, like you said, around the time when you moved out to Mount Arlington, right?
Yeah.
That was like when you started to find out about it. And then,
yeah, because she was good for a while, dude. The first couple of years of Mountain were fine. Like she was fine. And then
then you started to notice?
Nah.
What were you noticing? Did you ever catch her doing it?
No, just a lot of like absence. You know, she'd be in the room a lot, conked out a lot, you know.
Nodding off.
Yeah.
And then this John character, her ex.
Yeah.
And obviously now.
Yeah.
Well, did you like him? Did you think, really?
Loved him. John was.
You didn't think he was a bad influence on your mother?
No.
You think she was a bad influence on him?
Bingo.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry, Ma, but
really?
It's the truth. He was a great dude. Great fucking dude.
He just got caught up?
He got caught up with her. And that's the worst part. Like, he was such a good fucking dude, man. He was a Woods guy.
I know John. I remember John.
Oh, I love John. And I still talk to John a little bit. We text every once in a while. He's a great guy. I mean, this guy was like just such a good dude, man. And he just got caught up with her. And I hate that.
A lot of good men fall to women. A lot of men.
Scares me because I hate it.
I know women are very,
but
yeah, powerful.
You know,
powerful influences on the man. We fall victim to them a lot.
He fucked up. He jumped in on it. And
so you went to Pennsylvania. Right. You weren't there long.
No.
How long were you there for?
So we left. I left junior year. After junior year, I was there for halfway through senior year, about maybe, and then I left.
You left on your own?
Yeah. Yeah. So crazy story. I was like, I was up there for a little bit, about halfway through senior year, and I just hated the school up there. I hated everything. I didn't want to meet new friends. I wanted nothing to do with it. I was so happy being in Mountain. So we drove down to my grandfather's one day. This is a true story. Crazy story. So we drive to my grandfather's. Why? Because my mom needed money, right? So she would go down there. She caught money from my grandfather. We were on our way back, and we get to like almost exit 30.
Which is Howard Boulevard.
Mountain, you know the deal.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
And I'm like, Ma, drop me off. And she's like, I'm not dropping you off. I was like, drop me off. I was like, I'll just stay here. She's like, if I drop you off, you can't come home. I was like, fine, drop me off.
Really?
She's like, if I drop you off right now, I said, drop me off at Stevie's. I won't come home. She goes, if I drop you off right now, you can't come home. You're done. I said, okay. Swear to God, it's a true story. We got off exit 30. She went to Stevie's house. I got out of the car. Never came home.
Since that day?
To this day, I'm 39 years old, 39 and a half years old right now. As I'm speaking to you, I never went back home. I got dropped off. I went to my buddy Rolo's that night. Went to his house. A couple of buddies were hanging out there, smoking weed and shit, hanging out. And my buddy Vito goes, yo, what are you doing here? I'm like, I don't want to go back home. He goes, that's cool. You want a job? Yes. I started working at Exxon.
That's when you started?
That day. I went down to Exxon that day with him for an interview. Wayne, great guy, still see him from time to time. Wayne hires me that day. I started working the next day. Stevie's mom takes me in. She lets me stay with Stevie at his house. I tried to get back into high school in Roxbury. She said no. Respectable. She goes, I don't want all this shit at my, hey, I get it. That's fine. That's cool. I just worked at Exxon. I started slinging weed a little bit. I started working at Exxon, and I'd never been home since.
Wait, so you never graduated high school?
No.
You don't even have a GED?
I do.
Oh, I didn't know that.
31 years old, I got my GED.
How the fuck did I not know this shit?
At 31, I got my GED.
You've never been back home since that day. Nope. I remember when you started working at Exxon.
I got dropped off. I swear to Christ, I've never been home since.
You see what I mean? There's so much that I do not know.
I swear to God, yeah. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me because of, what ensued. it's also one of my biggest regrets. I left my brother behind, and he fell to, drug use and shit. And I feel like it's one of those things that chews away at me. Like, fuck, if I was at home, I could have prevented this. But at the same time, it's like, did I do the right thing by getting out of there? So
Double-edged sword.
It's a double-edged sword. And that's the thing that chews at me the most, is that my brother will tell you, like, and me and my brother are super close right now. We're like as close as we've ever been, ever. But he ended up succumbing to drugs and stuff. And I just feel like if I was there and I stuck around, maybe he wouldn't have been. It's the hardest thing for me. That is one of the hardest decisions I ever made. And it was a snap decision. And I left, and I'm still to this day happy I did. But there's that tough part of me that says, fuck, I left my bro in the balance, and he took the brunt of it, and now he got fucked.
I know,
and
but
I feel very.
I know.
I just hate it.
I know, but it's hard because
I just fucking hate it.
Who's to say that you would have stayed, right? And you both would have been fucked. It's almost better that somebody survived.
Maybe.
But you don't know. You don't know.
And you don't know. And that's the fucked up part about life. You don't know. I left so selfishly and so knee-jerk. I just said, fuck, I don't want to be around anymore. And I just left, and he got fucked up, and I just feel so fucking bad about it.
Let me tell you this.
It chews me up every day, Al.
Nobody can know what it's like to be in your shoes. Nobody. You were in a bad situation, bro. Sometimes you have to just make spontaneous decisions.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you could do about that.
He's since pulled himself out. He's doing great, but fuck. I just wish he never had to deal with that shit.
I know. Like you said, it's a double-edged sword.
Fuck.
You got to also remember probably your state of mind at this point. You were just in such a bad situation. You just had to react.
Yeah, that's all it was. It was
fate.
Very knee-jerk, very reactionary. I just was like, drop me off. And she's like, no way. And I'm like, just do it. And I swear to God, it's the craziest story, because she literally drove back and dropped me off at my buddy's house. And I never went home again. No clothes, no nothing, no fucking suitcase, no money.
So you got to question that also.
I swear to Christ, I got dropped off at my buddy's house, and fucking...
That's crazy in itself.
And I'm like here talking to you now.
That's crazy in itself, though.
It is, but there's this portion of me that hates it because my brother got fucked because of it. And I love my brother so much, and I fucking hate it. So like, yes, I'm still here, but luckily so is he. I mean, he's doing well now, but fuck.
I know we all have our own story, though. We all make our own decisions, but I guess certain people are at certain levels, and I know it's tough.
That shit sucks. That was the toughest one for me, and I did it out of straight just knee-jerk reaction. Just fucking let me off the bus. You know what I mean?
Well, nobody listening will know what it's like to be you either.
I'm sure there's people out there.
It's a tough. You lived a tough. I couldn't imagine what that would be like.
There's 100% people out there that are like, oh fuck, man, I've been there.
Yeah, and that's the main reason I wanted to do this podcast with you. Yeah. I wanted people to hear life, from your perspective through your lens. Maybe it'll help them cope with what they're going through.
Yeah.
Not everybody's as fortunate as you or I or the next person that overcame something, or you know what I mean.
Right. I mean, listen. I'm not overly fortunate. I'm just glad I got a position that
you should be proud of yourself.
On me, but
you should be proud of yourself. I know plenty of people that were in your situation, less or worse, whatever the case may be, and they did not make it out at all.
No, same.
You should be proud. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Bad. That's why do you think you're here to this day? Because not only do I love you, not only are you my brother, but I think your story is fascinating. I think you're a very strong man, and you're inspirational to me. For real.
I love you, bro.
I love you too, man. Seeing how you survived the life that you lived is, it's part of the reason I wake up in the morning.
It's been crazy. It's been nuts, dude.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I couldn't imagine being in your shoes. I'm going to be honest with you.
Listen, you didn't have the best shoes.
Yeah, but I mean,
hey, you want to talk about shoes? You've had the best shoes. I'm just saying, like
literally the best shoe-dini.
I mean, come on, dude. Let's throw it back to you, right? I mean,
Yeah.
You had some tough shoes.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even.
Everybody has tough shoes, bro.
Everybody does. Yeah,
we walk our lives.
We do,
and
we overcome. I
kind of love that about us, though. Like, and that's why I love you so much, dude. Like,
I love you like a brother.
We
man.
just take it and go with it, dude. It's like, all right, well,
roll with the punches.
This shit sucks. All right, let's make it and do what we do with it.
That's what life's about.
Yeah, and it should be
rolling with the punches. And some people aren't as fortunate. Your brother,
who gets dealt aces every time, right? Nobody. So
no, your brother unfortunately got dealt a bad deck of cards, and at the time,
tough deck, bro.
He wasn't strong enough to plow through it because he was in his vulnerable stages. He was young.
Tough deck. And I'll tell you something about my brother, right? So here's the deal. I get born, right? My mother, my father, right? They birthed me. My mother at the time probably wasn't on drugs. She was 16.
Wow.
Right?
She was that young?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Actually, she was 15 when she was pregnant.
Where was your dad from? So your mom grew up in Verona.
Yeah.
Right? Where was your dad from?
Bloomfield or West Caldwell? Somewhere right there.
Are they similar in age?
Yeah, close. My dad was a couple years older.
So they get pregnant, whatever happens.
Yeah. My mom was actually 15 when she was pregnant.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Had me when she was 16.
That's too young.
It's crazy. 16.
You're a baby.
16.
You're a baby at 21.
So, because she had me, her birthday's in February, mine's in March. She had me, we're 16 years apart. So, meaning she was actually physically pregnant when she was 15. Dad bails, whatever. Where was I going with this? My brother?
Yeah.
Oh, so they had me at a young age, right? I got pretty fortunate, like in the regard of, well, not fortunate, but my dad left. Fuck him. He sucks. Hope he listens because fuck you, Dad. But my mom at least tried to be there. My brother got fucked because at that time when my brother was born, my mom at the time and his dad at the time were both fucked up.
Really?
Yeah. So like
on drugs.
Yeah. So they had him, and granted, he's like a my brother's a normal dude.
Thank God he didn't come out
but he has that like obsessive draw,
addictive gene
towards that addictive gene. Like I don't have that because they were 15, 16 years old. Like I got super fucking lucky. Granted, my dad pieced out, whatever. I mean, I might have had a tough go, so be it. But my brother, on the other hand, had this fucked up thing where he had this literal draw to it without wanting to. Like he didn't have a fucking say in it.
I didn't think about that.
This is the problem. He had this obsessive draw to it, whether he liked it or not. He didn't have a fucking choice.
Yeah, he was born into it.
And, my brother, did what he did, and he had a tough fucking go. But he's so good right now. And I got to just praise him right now real quick. He's doing awesome.
That's fucking good to hear. Because
he's doing awesome.
Let me tell you something. I loved your brother like
I know.
Like
I know
literal.
I know you guys had
It killed me. But I had to.
I know.
At the time.
I know.
I'm not opposed to
I
seeing
would
him.
hope to God that when the time is right, there's a reconciliation, because
I'm not opposed to it.
I hope so.
Because I love him that much. I really do.
It's a different animal right now.
Yeah, I was real upset.
I promise you. Listen.
I can say, I don't know if you want me to say what happened.
Say.
All right, to the listeners, actually, this kind of goes along with the timeline I think we're in right now. I think.
Yeah, we're right there.
Right? So you lived on your own in Mount Arlington, and then once in a while, your mom would come back with your brother because they weren't in Pennsylvania long, right?
No. there for a little bit.
Because I remember there was a point in time where your mom and her boyfriend at the time, John, which you liked, came back to your grandfather's. And they started living in Verona for a little bit. Yeah. And then you would come back and visit in between. Mm-hmm. And that was when this situation happened. So it's about the same. We're going along the right track.
Right.
I remember you there. And I actually remember one time you and I going through some items. And we found a wax bag of your mom. We found a heroin bag that her and John were. We were going through a bunch of items for some reason. And we found it. And that was the first time I, in person, saw what a wax bag looked like. Mm-hmm. So to the listeners, if you don't know what a wax bag is, heroin is sold in like a sealed little wax corner, what is it, like a 2-inch by 2-inch little square?
Tiny. Inch by inch. I mean,
the reason why it's wax is so that the heroin doesn't stick to the bag or something. Yeah. And we found it. We were like, whoa. And I didn't know what it was at the time. But
wax
that was the
paper.
first.
Folded up.
Yeah. The first time I ever saw it. And you were coming back and forth. You were still living in MTA, but you would come back to visit once in a while.
Of course.
And this was about the time when I think this is when your brother, this is when he really fell in it.
Yeah.
I remember one time your mom going
You're
to the
100%
bathroom.
right, by the way, timeline was.
Yeah, right. I remember one time I was hanging out with your brother and you. And I remember just your mom went in the bathroom. She was in there for like an hour.
Yeah.
And we were like, what the fuck is going on? I didn't know. I was kind of like innocent at the time. And obviously doing a bag, nodding off.
Right.
You're in there for a while.
But you don't know.
I didn't know. I wasn't exposed to that type of stuff.
Right.
This was like the introduction for me. And I remember just being there like, damn. And this was around that time. And then you went back to Mount Arlington and your brother was here for a while. And I was always hanging out with your brother because I loved your brother, dude. Yeah. I still do. Yeah. Even though I was angry.
You guys had some good times, cruise and shit.
I was talking to my wife about it the other day because I knew I was recording with you. And I was just talking. I was like, I haven't seen his brother in so many years. Yeah. And the reason was just because I'm kind of so hurt.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I want an apology. I don't think I want that. I think I just need to forgive him myself and realize there was a greater power at be, and he was wrongfully influenced.
Well, it was a tough go there. It's a interesting.
I have to forgive him.
Right.
I have to, because I love your brother. But at the time, your mom was living with your grandfather at the time, and this was one of the roughest moments of your grandfather's life because he has a kid that he loves, which is
tough go, man.
His adopted daughter. She's there living with this crazy guy, John, at the time. I mean, not crazy, but you know what I mean?
Which he shouldn't have been.
Their situation was crazy. And your brother was there caught in the fucking middle. Here's a vulnerable child.
He got so fucked.
He's young. He has nobody to look up to but 2 drug addicts.
Right.
And your lovely grandfather. But your mom was taking kind of precedent over your grandfather.
Yeah.
Because, a kid needs his mother.
You're right on.
He doesn't have a father, so he's there. And he's like, this is my mommy, so I'm following her footsteps. And your mom, I don't know how it happens, but she gets this poor kid involved in drug abuse.
It's what bothers me the most about me and my mother's relationship.
Yeah. It fucked me up because I loved your brother, and I was like, why is he doing this? And what happened was your grandfather went away on vacation or something.
I think as a mother, I think it's your biggest move to steer your child away from this stuff. And I feel like
you draw him to it to help you,
and
to aid you.
I hate saying, I mean, listen, this is an open mic, and I just, whoever listens, whatever, but this was fucked. I mean,
in every sense of the word.
Fucked. And my mom didn't do a good job. I mean, she literally,
she was blinded by the drugs.
She went the wrong way in this one.
Desperation.
Let's just say that. She went the wrong way in this one. She went, let's get him involved rather than away.
So that it could help me.
It's what bothers me about the whole thing the worst. This is the worst part of my whole story. My whole life is not the best, but listen, it's not the worst. This part of it right now that we're talking about is the worst. This part bothers me the most. the fact that I left and that my mother
manipulated him,
got him into going down this road rather than a different road. That's what bothers me the most about my life right now. And I hate saying it, but we're here, we're doing this, and I just fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. And I think this one's the toughest.
During this time, and I knew shit was kind of fucked up, but I didn't, I guess I was ignorant to it. I didn't want to believe that your brother was in a bad situation, and your grandfather ends up going on vacation or something for like a week or two.
Yeah, he left. Went to Scotland.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I guess he had left, I don't know if willingly, but he left his checkbook behind. And your brother comes to me and he says, hey, my grandfather left his checkbook behind so that we can, have some money and food for, while he's gone. But the banks are closed or whatever. If we just write you a couple of checks, could you have your mom give us some money and then, you can cash the checks and whatever. So my mom loves Steven. You got to remember at this point, I'll edit that out. You got to remember.
No, don't edit nothing out.
You got to remember my mom loved your brother.
Don't edit nothing out.
My mom loved me. She loved your brother. So there was a point in time where this is kind of simultaneous. Something big
This is actually
happens.
new to me, by the way.
What?
This is news to me.
Oh, really?
This is fully new to me.
Got to remember this. Listen to this. This happens right before, so I have to kind of backtrack a little bit.
No, I love this because this is a scary point in this timeline of where shit was miserable.
Yeah, it
for
was.
everyone.
So our mutual friend Ryan gets in some shit. Okay, and that's when the big fight, the jumping happens.
I remember this one.
I'm not going to go in detail.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of out of the.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
I think we're out of the.
I think we are too.
The issue, but I don't want to dive deep on it.
Nah, I mean,
something legal bad happens.
Yeah.
And it got hot in the area. So my mom realized it got hot. And your brother came and slept in my house.
That was such a crazy night.
I know. We talked about it to my mom. My mom was like, you know what? Maybe we need to just get out of the country just to take a break.
Come on.
So I've never been on a cruise in my life.
Oh, this is the cruise day.
Never been on a cruise.
This is how the cruise happened?
This is how it happened.
Wow.
So my mom was like,
this is so news to me.
I didn't know this.
No, I knew you went on the cruise. I didn't know.
This is why we went, because of that fight. Because of what happened.
Wow.
So my mom was like, let's just go have a nice fresh start.
This is blowing my fucking mind, dude.
So my mom was like, Al, let's just go on a cruise. We've never been on one. Let's go to the Bahamas.
This is fucking
I'll pay for Steve. I'll pay for your brother, and we'll go.
Yeah, I remember you guys met, yeah.
So
she told me it was great. You guys played ping pong and shit.
She paid for his whole trip.
Wow.
Didn't ask him or your mom for a dime.
No, I remember, yeah.
I don't know how she got the money because my mom wasn't rich.
No.
But she knew we had to go.
She sold some of your ICP albums, dude.
My mom was down, dude. My mom figured out a way. And she knew we had to get out of Dodge.
She was the best, dude. The greatest.
Best, man.
The greatest.
I bring her up so many podcasts.
Shout out to Al's mom, dude.
I can't help it.
Absolute greatest.
I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for her.
No, she was the greatest.
So whatever. I grab her. We go to the Bahamas. Me and your brother had a great time together. We come back.
I remember
She paid for his whole trip. That ain't cheap, bro.
No.
My mom was broke.
I remember the whole thing.
She went into debt for that trip.
I was actually pissed I didn't go.
Yeah. So we went, we come back, we're chilling. So now, after that experience, my bond with your brother, while you don't live here anymore,
right?
It's almost like I'm living for you through your brother. It's
great.
Now at this point.
That's fantastic.
So now I'm I felt almost a responsibility to protect your brother, to be with him. Because I knew something was going on with your mom, but I didn't know the extent.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is my homie. I got to hold him down. And my mom knew that. So we said, then this happened. She writes a couple of checks.
I wish this would have been the precipice, but it wasn't.
She writes a couple of checks, gives them to me. And I was like, Mom, could you do me a favor? And, they need some money. They're kind of broke. Just cash them. They just need the money now. And of course, your dad didn't approve of any of this. They bounced. He must have took the money out knowing that your mom was going to pull some shit while he was gone. And then what happens when checks bounce?
My grandfather did?
Yeah, I guess.
So it's minus, that's 35 a piece.
No, dude, this was like a couple $100.
Well, I'm saying 35 times how many checks?
So what happens when you bounce? I mean, you have to pay the money yourself.
Right.
So I was like, what the fuck happened here? And that was the moment that I stopped talking to your brother. Because I didn't try to fight him. I didn't try to do anything because I knew what it was. I knew it wasn't really him, but the fact that he didn't interject and stop your mother from robbing my mother, a woman who was, at that point becoming ill with cancer and the whole thing. It's like,
not well off.
I paid for your trip to the Bahamas.
I didn't know this.
We went. How are you gonna?
You realize I don't know this at all.
Well, now you know. But it's like, how are you gonna do that to me and my mother after she paid for you so we can be safe, so we don't have to worry about the chaos that's going on? And that kind of hurt me. And I
Kinda.
Even to this day, though, dude, I know, I know your brother wasn't really in control, but I just thought that he'd have some sort of foresight to be like, don't do this to my homie. After he took me out, saved me from this shit, took me on a trip to the Bahamas. Like, he's probably never been out of the country since that day.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I haven't talked to your brother since that day.
This kills me, dude.
This is like what? I was 18 years old because I'll never forget.
Fucking kills me, dude.
My mom knew I was smoking cigarettes, but I didn't tell her. And I remember we were on that trip and she was so happy that we were like in another overseas.
And you had a blast.
She threw me a cigarette and she was like, as long as you're in front of me, you could smoke it. I'll never forget that. So I was 18. I just turned 18.
This one kills me, dude.
But that happened. And that's why I haven't talked to your brother since. But I've talked to him on Facebook Messenger.
Oh, my
I've talked to him a couple times, but that's why I got so mad at your brother. But I
didn't know
he
this
didn't.
shit, bro.
I know he didn't. Listen, man.
We never talked about this at all, dude. This is crazy.
Well, I didn't want to.
On air.
I didn't want to, you know what I mean? But that's what happened. And that hurt me so much.
That's
but
so crazy.
I know he wasn't in control. That's why I'm not, I'm not super mad at him.
I will never, ever, ever give somebody a pass for something like this.
He wasn't in control, man. He was a kid, bro. You know? I know that.
You said it.
I'm not mad at him, bro. You know?
No, and I'm not trying to fucking give anybody a free pass for anything they've done. But you know the drill. Like it's so fucked.
I didn't bring that up to air anything out. I brought it up to...
I'm glad I heard it. I've never heard this shit ever.
That's how serious the
I didn't
situation
know that.
was.
I thought the fucking cruise was a blast and like that was it.
Well, there's a reason why we went on it.
Well, I didn't know.
And then when we came back, that happened. I was kind of like, you know what I mean? That's kind of like, how you going to do that to me after that?
Wow.
But he was just caught up, man. It wasn't his fault.
But let me tell you something right now.
It wasn't his fault.
No, I mean...
You know, he was a kid, bro.
Yeah, it's a tough deal.
It is what it is.
No, but it's a tough deal.
But that's the only reason why I haven't talked to him since. It
is what it is, but, I think he's pretty good at taking responsibility. So I'm really hoping that this thing gets aired and he hears this and,
Dude,
he's been through a lot of shit, dude. And
a lot. I'm not opposed to ever. I'd love to hug him. Trust me.
I hope
the love never died. It's just,
I want him to hear this. I need him to hear this
because the love never died, bro. I love your brother.
I love my brother so much, and I've been through the gates with this motherfucker, dude.
I know.
Me and him have been through so much shit.
Yeah.
I've had his back since the get-go. He's legally died twice.
Really?
You know that?
No.
Isn't that crazy?
Dude, I haven't talked to him since that
twice.
Shit. I haven't talked to him.
Yeah, he's been through the fucking ringer, this guy. But guy had a tough go.
He had a bad deal of cards dealt to him.
He had a tough go. From the get. And that's what I talked about earlier. Like, he was just in it. And I fucking hate that about myself that I left him. That's what, it still drives me nuts that I left and he got fucked.
It might have been worse if he stayed.
My brother is such a good, him.
Oh, he's the best.
When he was a good dude.
I still love him, bro. Don't trust me.
And I just want to clear the air because he's on the way back. He's becoming a good dude again. I just want you guys to, I would love him for
I'm
him
not
to
opposed.
be.
Trust me, I would meet up with him. Trust me.
I need it.
I will do it.
Like
I will do it. I will do
he
it.
loves you, dude, and like
I love him too, man.
We talk constantly about you, and he's like,
Do you?
"Oh, all the time."
Yeah. I'd love
and
to
he's
meet
like,
him, dude.
"Oh, dude, I'm gonna reach out to Al." And I'm like, you know, just like give it some time.
I'm not that bad. Trust me. I'm not.
No.
I'm not that angry towards him.
Not that bad. What do you mean?
I'm not that
bad?
angry.
You're not.
Trust me.
You're the most ill. Like
I'm fine.
You're fine. Dude.
I understand what it was. It's just hard for me, especially
tough.
my mother's not here anymore.
No, listen.
I'll kill somebody for my mother.
You do not have to explain yourself.
I know.
And I'm not trying to explain anything either. The fact is, I just like to see.
It'll happen. Trust me. I'm not
I
opposed
just
to it
hope
at
so
all.
because, man,
You know how much he would like to come here once a month to hang out with this shit?
He would love it.
You'd have a blast, dude.
You know how many times he said, "Let me come"? I go, let me see.
He could come.
Let's just
We'll have a good time.
We'll work towards that.
And we could talk
I know.
for sure. But I just wanted to. That was around that time.
I would love that because
We'll get it.
I just want to see a new him and you
I'm
know
with it. Trust me.
and a reconciliation.
I would love nothing more than that.
But this is a good piece because I need this to be told because fuck, I didn't know that.
Well, now you know. It's
I didn't
all
know
right.
that.
Yeah.
No, I need to know that.
Well, that's why I never wanted to bring it up to you because
I can
I'm
tell you
not
a
trying
lot of
to.
things. I mean, fuck. I could go a lot of stories.
Whatever you want. Yeah.
But you know, I've tried a million times.
Yeah.
The amount of money that I've pumped in is brutal.
There was one time actually that I'll never forget. It was right before that happened. It might have been right before that happened around the
Steve,
same
listen
time.
to this. Listen to this, Steve.
One time we were going up to visit you,
Right.
and it was me, it was your brother, it was your mom, and it was John. And your mom was going to give me and your brother a ride up to MTA to hang out with you.
Right.
So I was like, all right, I'll come with you. Instead of my mom bringing me up, your mom was going to give me the ride up there. I was like, I'll just go with your mom. All of a sudden, I'm going through Newark.
I've been there, by the way.
So this is kind of the defining moment when I
picture of
knew
Newark
when I
many
knew
times.
that something was wrong and that your mom was involved in things that I didn't want to be associated with.
Oh, yeah.
This was like the defining moment.
Been there.
I don't know if I ever told you this story, but we're
No.
driving through Newark and I thought it was pretty cunning because if anybody knows Newark and knows how it rides along the parkway
Yeah.
and 280 and things like that, she was beating every toll somehow, like going along the highway. If you know what I'm saying, I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
She knew the route, so I'm like, where the fuck are we
I
going?
used to pretend to throw change in the fucking parkway thing and be like,
She was
beep,
beating
beep.
everything.
She'd be the beep, beep.
I'm like, where are we going? I'm like, I thought we were going to MTA. And of course, your mom was veering us off on a wrong path. Then all of a sudden, we end up in a GameStop parking lot in the hood. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? This is before your mom got locked up for the long haul.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck
Ma,
are
listen, I love you, but you got to hear this shit.
I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? We stop at a GameStop. She pops the trunk. Me and Steve sitting in the car, Dolo, in the back seat. Now I'm starting to get nervous. What the fuck are we doing here? I thought we were going to MTA. Right? She veered us off on this path. Your mom rolls in there with these garbage bags. Now, these aren't 10-gallon garbage bags. These are like 50-gallon jump-offs filled with games, DVDs, the whole Blu-rays, the whole nice. What the fuck? So she goes into GameStop, and now I start to click. I'm like, okay. This is before she got locked up.
She got $16.
This is before she, yeah, right? Not only that, but this is before she got locked up for robbing everybody on your grandfather's block.
Yeah. This is how this happened.
She goes inside and she cashes them all in, comes back in. Now, I don't see any cash in her hand, but I know what's going on.
Right.
Then she goes a couple blocks down. Now I'm in the hood. Now we're in the heart of the hood.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just want to get the fucking Mount Arlington. What the fuck am I
and you're
doing
in the back
here?
seat, like, what the fuck
What the fuck am I
here?
doing here?
Yeah.
My mom would kill me if she knew where I was. Your mom goes in
And
a
you have
crack
no
house.
choice. You have no choice.
I'm
You're
done
in the
now.
seat.
I'm not going to get out.
This is amazing.
Your mom goes in a crack house.
You're in my life right now.
Dude.
This is amazing.
Your mom goes in some crack house. Now I'm sitting in the back seat. I'm sweating. I'm like, what? Because I know the deal. You got to remember, my family grew up in Patterson, so I know what the hood looks like.
Right.
I'm out here like, what the fuck am I doing here?
I've been there plenty.
What the fuck am I doing? And now we're waiting 20 minutes, goes by 30 minutes. I'm like, bro, I hope this woman's alive. You know what I mean? Because we're in like the rugged, the worst area, the 4th ward of Newark.
I've been there so many times.
She finally comes out, gets in a car, and we finally get out. I didn't feel good until we were out of Newark. Till we're 80 West, not 280.
I love
80
this story.
West now. I'm like, okay, now we're good. We get out of there, and I said to myself,
I hate this story, but I love this story.
I said to myself, I am never fucking going in this lady's car ever again. And I never did.
I swear to God.
But going through that shit, I was shitting on a brick. But
Yeah.
when we landed in MTA, I felt happy I wasn't even going to talk about it no more. And I didn't bring it up.
But it's like a part of me that like I did this shit as a kid all the time.
Bro, that shit was scary, bro.
Yo, the amount of times I've been in North, like, bro, South 16th Street, like, I know it fucking.
That's where we was at.
Oh my God. I know it like the back of my hand.
Bro.
It's crazy because, like, I know this shit so well.
I was like, where the
And
fuck am I?
I shouldn't know it so well. You know what I mean?
I was like, where am I?
I shouldn't know these spots.
That
I'm
happened
not
like
that guy.
before. I know.
But I know it so well.
Bro, I never got in that woman's car ever again, bro. I was like, I do not need to be in. If my mother knew where I was,
It's so crazy, dude.
that's just, bro, I was scared for your
And
mother's
she
life.
took you there as a friend. Like you're a friend of a friend and you get in a car and you're like in Newark.
That shit was wild to me.
I know, it's crazy. But like that's how
I
that
was
shit
scared
was.
for my life,
Yeah.
bro. And the way she was
But you have no
navigating
idea.
through the
You have
hood,
no idea.
like,
Oh,
she was riding alongside, avoiding all the tolls. I'm like, yo, this lady's skilled,
she was the
bro.
hood queen, bro.
Bro, but when she went in that building, I was scared for her life, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck right now.
She's fine.
I was scared for her life. No, that's how bad the area was.
She was so cool.
I was like, yo, this is
She
ill.
she went to jail, told me she got fucking X time for microwave time. She beat up a chick for microwave time. My mom was crazy, dude. Crazy.
Wow.
Crazy, dude. She beat up a chick for microwave time. Swear to God.
What the fuck is microwave time? What does that mean?
Ask the guys that have been in jail.
What does that mean? Tell me.
You get microwave time. You have X time to do your microwave shit, ramen, whatever.
Oh, microwave time.
Some chick fucking abused her time. My mom fucking got in a fight. Lost like fucking 2 months because of it.
Because of microwave time.
Yeah. Got in a fight because of it.
That's interesting. Microwave time. Never heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a rough. That's when I really knew it was real.
Gina, bro. She's a fucking beast.
Yeah, that was when I knew it was real. You know what I mean?
At the same time, dude, when it comes to like motherhood and shit, it's brutal.
Shortly
my
after
mom.
that is
I
when-
love my mom. Listen, the bottom line is I love my mom. She's my mom, dude. I love my mom. But god damn, she's brutal.
Rough.
She had a
put you
rough
through it.
deal. Oh God,
She
put
put
me
you
through
through
it is like not even the words.
You're lucky to be
Really,
alive, bro.
you know,
You're lucky to be alive, son.
she's it's tough.
It was a different dynamic, you know, from what I was used
But
to
I'm
see that.
glad though. I mean, I had a tough go, but like, I almost love that I had a tough go.
Because you
like-
got to see it from that
Well,
low.
I just like, I live a tough life now, right? Okay. I'm divorced. I have 2 kids. I pay child support. I have a job that's physically demanding. And I get through it week by week by week by week, right? That's all because of how I was brought up. Like, there's some people that have no fucking clue what I do. Like, they're like, oh, yeah, I send fucking 2 emails and I make $100,000 a year. Good for you. I fucking work my balls off
Got it out the mud for real.
every goddamn week to pay my child support, to pay my bills, to barely make it through what I'm doing week by week, every fucking week. And I get through. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm there. But fuck, man, it's a goddamn struggle.
Yeah. No, it's life is hard for a normal
It's
person.
not
You know what I
fucking
mean?
normal, dude. It's fucking hard.
Life is
dude.
hard.
Life sucks. It's
Life is
hard
hard.
as fuck, dude.
But when you look through your kid's eyes, it makes it all worth it.
No,
right?
it does.
Isn't that what's crazy about
My kids are like the best thing ever. Like I see my kids, I'm like, God damn, dude. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank fucking God. Right?
Yeah.
How great is it when you see Maxie boy?
Yeah. It's
And
fucking
he's like,
nuts, dude.
I love him, dude.
I lay with him every night.
I see
Tonight,
his
I'm not
kids,
gonna.
my
I'm
two
kinda
kids, and I'm
upset.
like, fuck, dude.
Makes
These
it worth
kids
it,
are
right?
like, they make it worth it.
But doesn't that also make you like?
Because there's times, dude, where I'm struggling, dude. I hate fucking life. I'm like, God damn, dude, I got two kids, though. Like, if I didn't have two kids, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm doing the same thing, maybe I'm not. But it's so fucking, it's easier when you have kids.
But how does that make you feel how you are thinking about your mom, how she was with you guys? Doesn't that fucking piss you off?
No,
Really?
it actually doesn't. It doesn't.
Interesting.
Surprisingly, it doesn't. My mom had a tough fucking go, and I actually don't hate it.
Interesting.
No, she had a different go than I did.
Yeah.
It's weird because like you'd think I would hate it or have a different thought of it. I don't.
You know, one thing that I could add to that
No, I don't.
that I think makes sense. Your mom was adopted,
Yeah.
and it's hard to relate to that. Like, you know your mom, you know your dad. You didn't find out about your dad till later, but at least you know who your parents are. I couldn't imagine living my entire life knowing that the two parents that created me dropped me off on a fucking doorstep. That's crippling.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense.
I don't have a problem with it because I just like have a different perspective about it.
Yeah.
Like just like your own life.
Yeah. It's true.
Like it sucks, dude. Your parents might suck. You might have tough go, but like I don't know, man. Everybody has a different life. Just do your own shit.
Hey, man. I get it. I dig it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that. Like, I'm trying to think of putting myself in your mom's shoes and being adopted, you know? It must be tough to deal with that perspective alone. You know what I mean?
Right.
That must be a weird feeling internally. If you ever like sat down to collectively think about it, must be rough, man. Think about yourself, right? Think about you having your kids. Could you ever imagine leaving them on somebody's doorstep?
No.
Never. I could never.
No.
So imagine being a person on the receiving end of that doorstep. You know, it must be fucking
man.
crippling. So do you know, it's kind of like thinking about your mom in that way. Like,
Right.
damn, that must have been rough for her. Like knowing that like it's a life. So like to know that you just don't care about that life and throw
Man,
it.
what you just said was brutal.
Know what I mean? It's tough to think about in that perspective. You
Think
know?
about the person that picked up your mom off the doorstep.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's rough. That's heavy shit. You know what I mean? That's fucking heavy shit.
Wow.
Especially because you're a fucking fantastic
Think
father.
about that though. Fuck, man. Fuck.
I know. Especially
just
thinking about
fucked me
yourself. You're a great father. You could never
Thank
do
you.
that to your kids. You could
No.
never.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I could never either.
No.
So imagine being on the receiving end of that.
That's the one thing like I really feel like I've excelled.
Dude,
Is
your
like,
kids love you. I know. I see
might
them
be a
around you.
divorced dad. I might be a fucking whatever. Dropout. This, that, the other thing. I'm a great dad, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great fucking dad.
Your kids know it. You know, it's not easy life, bro. Navigating through life
No.
is not easy. And marriage is another tough task.
Marriage, dude. Fuck.
You have the kids, it makes the marriage even harder.
Oh, marriage is brutal, dude.
It's tough. It can be beautiful, but it
so
requires a joint effort. It requires a lot of mechanics and working through it together. It has to be mutual. It can't be one-sided. It's tough. It's very tough.
Marriage is so tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
I'm divorced, dude. Marriage is tough.
Yeah. So before we get there, after this time period that I just went through with your brother and stuff, that's around the time where you separated from your brother and from your mother, and all this stuff's going on.
Yeah, not so much from my brother. I mean, from my mother. I stuck with my brother like the whole time. I mean,
of course,
I tried my best to be the best brother I could. And he knows that. I mean, it's just...
You can only do so much.
It was so hard, but like, god damn, dude.
You're your own person,
Siege. Stuck with him so hard, dude.
You're your own person. You know, you make your own decisions in life. He makes his own decisions.
Right.
You can only do so much.
Oh, God.
So, you know, we navigate through life in our own way. And, you know, things happen. So you lived your MTA life. You did your thing.
Yeah.
You started working at Exxon. And that's crazy, the story you told me earlier. I didn't know that's why you worked there. That's
because
nuts.
when I left, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, crazy, dude.
So that happened. And then that's when, like, your life up there started to go up. And that was when I started to really enjoy myself up there.
But yeah, I live with friends, and over and over and over
some
again.
Fantastic friends.
Great friends. CUNY. I just talked to him tonight.
How's he doing, bro?
The best.
Next time we talk to him, I said I love him.
He's in South Carolina right now. He's killing it, dude.
Sprinter vans, dude. Straight sprinters.
Yo.
Mercedes
CUNY is one of my best friends of all time.
He's a great guy. Dude, his house was... the parties at his house were legendary.
We used to have the best parties at CUNY's, bro.
Come on. Dude, MTA is the greatest
Matty
ever.
CUNY.
Matty Fresh Kuntz. Brendan Kuntz.
I love it, dude.
Jimmy Bonus, dude.
Jimmy Bounce.
Dude, I love MTA. The people there.
Jimmy's my best friend to date, bro.
I've had such good times. Fucking Mana Kaiser days.
Yeah.
You know the Mana Kaisers. Remember Mandino's? What's his fucking name? They used to chef it up there.
Meats.
What's his name over there? Lost his fingers or something, right? What was his name?
Jimmy Capon?
Jimmy Capons, dude.
Caponics?
Pfeiffer, the whole nine.
Yeah,
dude.
Five.
You know what's crazy? Because Pfeiffer, around this time when that whole thing happened with with me, your brother and stuff, Pfeiffer was living at your grandfather's.
In Verona. With me.
I have a funny story about that. I never forget. At this time, Gillette came out with a specific razor, and it was like the Mach 5, but it was green and it vibrated.
Did he shave his head?
I never forget he was shaving himself with this new Mach. This is when he was living with your brother and your mom. And he goes, "Hey, Al, come here."
Come here.
He goes, "Feel how smooth." And I touch his face. He goes, "How smooth is that?" And it was because it vibrated the hairs out easier to make him cut. Yeah, but I remember that was around the same time. This is in line with the timeline.
Oh my god,
that was when he lived with your brother.
Craziest podcast ever, bro. We're out of control. We're like all over the place, dude.
It's tough because
we're all over the place.
We've never tapped into this personally. Ever.
If anyone ever listens to it, they're like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?" You guys are all over the place.
Well, it's tough, dude, because you and I never actually had a deep conversation about any of these things.
I know.
Ever.
I'm like thinking about like, fuck. No one's gonna have any clue what we're talking about.
Nah, they will. They will. It's just,
no, they will.
They're just following our, the journey we're expressing and telling, It was a crazy time and, your life for sure. And I was there for a good percentage of it.
A lot of it. A lot of it, dude.
But,
and still a lot of it.
It's great to hear from you because now I'm uncovering and you're answering a lot of the questions that I've always personally had and never asked.
Bring them, dude.
You know what I mean? So after all this happened, your mom gets locked up again, right? So this is around that same timeline where I get and you get separated, you come up to MTA. I have that unfortunate situation with your brother after that whole fiasco and whatever.
The worst.
Yeah. Then your mom ends up getting locked up again.
Mm-hmm.
And at this time, she ends up robbing everybody on the block that your grandfather lives on, that she was living with. This is when Pfeiffer was living there the whole nine. Well, we were just talking about the whole thing. It all collapses at this point.
Second time,
but she ends up robbing up everybody on the block. And this time she went in there for the long haul, right?
Yeah.
What happens to your brother at this point? Because her and John get locked up, right?
Yeah.
Something about gun possession with John.
John goes away with gun possession. He goes away. Steve goes with my grandfather, I think, right?
I don't remember too much. It must have been for a little bit because then he ends up getting locked up,
because I was on tour.
Oh, we got to talk about that.
No, I left, yeah.
Why did you leave? Because you end up linking up with a band somehow.
So
this is an interesting part of your life.
yeah, so like at that point I left. I got a job. I'm doing
you're at the gas station.
Exxon. I'm doing Domino's, right?
I'm coming up back and forth.
And then I link up with the band and I go with Royden.
Shout out Royden.
And I go on tour.
But how'd that happen? How'd that situation happen? Did you meet them in high school? What was that?
I knew Tim from high school.
Tim is the lead singer?
Guitars.
Okay. So you knew him from high school, and then what happened? You just friends, and then what?
Yeah.
What made him decide to ask you to go on tour with them?
I was chilling with Tim like every day. We were like hanging out, smoking weed, chilling. And then he was like, yo, sell merch for me. So I'm like, all right, I'll sell merch. And I sold merchandise at 5, 6, 7 shows. And then we decided it was a good idea for me to go on tour.
Wow.
So
because at that point, they were a big deal. Right?
Kinda. I mean, we kinda became a big deal. And then like I went on a tour with them to South Carolina. We went up and down the East Coast. It was great. They loved it. And then I was working pizza
at Domino's.
Yeah. Doing delivery. And then all of a sudden they're like, we want you to come on tour and be like a tour manager.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it. Fuck
wow. Where'd you guys go?
Cross country. Just went everywhere. Texas, California, Oregon, everywhere.
And this was around the same time your mom got locked up.
06. She got locked up in late 06 maybe? 07?
So yeah, same time.
Yeah.
So you weren't even really around to like digest it all.
Didn't want to be.
Yeah.
Just left and I went on tour and just escaped all of it.
It was almost poetic at that time to leave at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't make it a big deal. I just did it because that seemed like a good idea.
And I guess your grandfather stayed with your brother at that time.
Yeah, he stayed there. Yeah.
And then eventually your brother ends up getting locked up.
Yeah.
Was that shortly after? Or?
No. He actually kind of lived in the moment for a bit. When I was on tour, my brother got an apartment in Dover.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he was living in Dover for a bit. And then what really fucked me up was when my best friend died.
Who, Birdie?
No, Lou.
Oh, man.
So what happened was I was on tour. I was in Arizona. And Lou was at a party with my brother and a couple people. And Lou got in a car with a girl. And she drove down 80 and just into the woods.
No shit.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. The cops' lights came on and she just drove fucking into the woods.
Jesus Christ.
He died. She lived. And then I flew home.
Because of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that must have been rough.
That was fucking brutal.
Sorry for your loss, man.
Nah, that was the worst.
I don't know why I don't remember that. I don't know if I was in a drug haze
they were at my
that
brother's
point.
house, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Hanging out, drinking, just fucking chilling, and then...
In Dover?
Yeah. And then, like, oh, we're going to head out. You know?
Yeah, just...
Who knows?
Yeah, you got to be careful, man. You know, Damn.
Sucks.
Fucking me up out here. Yeah, I didn't know that even happened, man. I don't even know if I ever knew Lou.
Oh, Lou was the best.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
You had to know Lou, bro.
I wonder if I
Come
did.
on, dude.
I don't know. Did he used to come to Al's Woods and drag kegs with us?
100%, dude.
Damn, I wonder, man.
You knew Lou.
Yeah. That was a crazy. So you come back from tour, you deal with that. The fuck is going on right now through your head? You got your mom locked up. Your best friend died. You just had to leave tour because of it. And that must have been like one of your low points.
It was one of the lows. So I came home, went to Lou's wake, brutal, the worst. And then Jimmy's like, my buddy Jimmy, who's one of my best friends.
Best. Moorans, baby.
Yeah. Jimmy Murray, my best friend.
Beers.
He's like, I'm leaving, I'm going to Florida. I was like, why are you going to Florida? It's like, I'm going, I gotta get out of here. So me being me, best friend, I was like, I'm going with you. So we leave, we went to Florida. Moved to Florida.
So you went with him?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Where the fuck was I? I must have been in a drug haze at that point.
You were in Verona, dude, just chilling. We went to Florida, dude. Just like drove to Florida randomly. Me, Jimmy, Kirk, and his brother.
Wow.
And it was fucking terrible. I hated it so much. We lived at his apartment. I hated it. And then the band eventually called me back within 2 months. They're like, yo, we want you back. Let's go. And I flew back to San Antonio.
Okay.
And went back on tour.
How was that? Did it feel good to be back? Or were you kind of like...
well, here's the thing, dude. I moved to Florida. It sucked. It was fucking hot. It sucked. I hated it. I had a shitty job there. I was like working at Domino's. And then the band called and was like, yo, we're going back to fucking on tour. So I flew back to Texas, met with them, and then went on tour for like the rest of the year, 6 months.
That's crazy. I had no idea you moved to Florida.
Yeah.
You've done it all, man.
Yeah, so I was like on tour for like almost a year. Flew home from San Antonio for Lou's wake. Went to Florida, drove there, hated it. Flew back to San Antonio to go back out on tour.
Yeah.
And then stayed on tour for like half a season.
And then what? Came back to MTA?
Came back to MTA.
And where'd you live?
At Kirk's.
Wow. Right by Port Morris.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the time when...
Lived with some friends and then like, eventually got into what I do now, which fucking...
HVAC.
Ugh, don't even get me started. Yeah, HVAC.
Also, that's when you got into HVAC.
Yeah. Yeah, I came back. I was working at Domino's. I'm like, this is fucking trash.
You know what? I think I remember now you living at Kirk's now. Now that's all coming to fruition
Kirk's
now.
was a big deal, dude. Kirk's was like a huge... Oh, my God. You never went to Kirk's, dude?
Yeah, I remember. Richie used to hang out there, and then that went sour for
Kirk's
whatever reason.
That place was the gauntlet, dude.
Yeah, this is before I worked for where I work now and before the yard
when I lived
right across
at Kirk's,
the street.
like that was before I lived with Greg in Oakwood.
Oh, that was before when you had the apartment in Oakwood.
Yeah.
Wow, that was some parties there too,
Big
dude.
parties,
I went to some legendary parties.
Parties.
That's
we
the thing
threw some
is,
serious parties.
MTA had the
Some
greatest
UFC
parties,
bro. And you're into that shit now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I went into it later.
we got into some, Iceman Chuck Liddell tournaments back
Wow, Chuck Liddell's a legend.
then. My favorite UFC fighter of all time.
Wow, it's crazy. All this stuff is
You know
like
that, by the way?
coming back to me now. What?
The Iceman?
Oh, of course I know the
That's my
Iceman.
favorite of all time.
I didn't know that he was your favorite though.
Favorite, dude.
Wow.
He was a backyard brawler, dude. I
Yeah,
love
the
that
legend. But yeah, so that's crazy that you go on tour, you get all that, all that tragedy comes your way. At the same time, your
That
son
was the worst, dude. My best friend died. I was in Phoenix.
Yeah, then you're dealing with your brother getting caught up. Your mom's locked up. I couldn't imagine being in your shoes, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine emotionally what you were going through. Like, what was your day-to-day like emotionally? I couldn't imagine, like, I'm a big thinker, right? So every day I'm thinking.
Well, for me, it was like, just like try to get through day to day. Exactly what you said. Like, it's like, don't think about it. Just,
Yeah.
I've always had this like weird perspective on life of like, you're your own person, right? Get through the day to day stuff. You got to live for yourself. As much as that sucks, right? I have 2 kids now, but you have to like do you. You have to make yourself happy. You have to complete your tasks first. So like, no matter what happens around you, tragedy, not tragedy, whatever, you have to complete your shit first. You have to go to work every day, right? You have to pay your bills every day. So like that stuff always like took precedence for me.
Do you ever feel like you were pushing off?
I think it was my grandfather just like helped me with that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like, dude, fucking take care of your shit first.
Yeah. The problem is sometimes like we push off all that stuff and it's never going to leave. You have to face all of it someday, right?
Yeah.
And that's like probably the harsh reality of all of this. Is like one day you're going to have to face it head on. And when you face it, it's hard. And it hurts to reflect. And it hurts to think, about it and, try to just think on it and maybe possibly correct any future issues and just face it in general. Just to think about what your life's been like, what the cards were dealt, and sometimes it's tough to bite the bullet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I try to think as much as possible and stuff. I'm a big thinker, so I'm like every day I'm thinking like, what if?
I don't think so much about it.
Yeah. Maybe
honestly, I don't.
Maybe that's a big factor in how you've been able to
navigate. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
just navigate in general.
I don't want to think I shut it down, but I don't think I do the right thing all the time. But I navigate it well. I just try to keep working, and it sucks because like the guy that fucking works every day and pays his bills and does his normal fucking job sucks. That guy sucks. I hate that guy. And that's me. Like I work every fucking day and I pay my bills and I do everything I have to do. Nothing's owed. And I'm still here just fucking struggling. Shit sucks, dude.
But there's honor in that. There's honor in that.
There's no fucking honor in that.
Your kids have a good life because of the life you lead.
Yeah.
And
maybe.
That's the thing is like when you have kids is like,
it sucks, dude.
Your kids take precedent and
the honesty of it is sucks, bro. Fucking living life to life, like working your fucking balls off and paying all your bills.
Yeah,
and then
I know.
Waking up the next day and you have fucking barely any money to, make it through. That shit sucks, dude. The fucking American dream's dead.
Yeah.
That shit's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it does.
You work your
suck.
balls off to like fucking pay your bills and then barely have enough money to like maybe do something you want to do. Think about that, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I don't like it.
You fucking work X amount of hours a week, right? Take your money, any money you have right now, shut it down. You work fucking 40 plus hours a week, don't you?
Yeah.
Right. And then you make that money. And then you fucking pay all your bills.
Taxes get taken
your kids' stuff, the taxes get taken out. And then X amount of money at the end of the month. How much money do you really have?
Yeah. Shit.
It's not much.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
So what are you supposed to fucking do?
The only thing that I could take away from that is as long as your kids are good,
that's it.
That's all that matters.
Like I said, bills are paid.
As long as your kids have a better life than you had.
Well,
that's what matters.
I hope so.
That's what matters. Of course they do. Think about it. We just talked largely about your life. Your kids don't have any of the struggle that you had, and you succeeded in that, right?
You're right.
So I think you won in that way.
I hope so.
Would you ever want your kids to go through what you went through with your mother, with your brother, with this stuff? You don't want that shit.
No.
With your father, things like that. Your kids know who your mom is. They know who their dad is. They live a good life. They have a great home.
I'm basically trying to give my kids like a better life.
That's all that matters. That's your purpose here on this earth, is giving your kids a better life than you had.
It's so tough, though.
And I think you've succeeded in that, right?
It's so fucking tough.
I know you wanted to keep a family unit, but sometimes it doesn't work.
No.
So, you know what I really wanted to know is how you met your wife. Because it came out shortly after this whole thing, right?
Yeah. I met her.
Your ex-wife, sorry.
In my apartment.
What, when you lived with Greg?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, lived with Greg and John, and she was the apartment across the street.
Get the fuck out of town.
Yeah, she was straight up across.
That's bananas. I had no idea.
Crazy.
Wow. And you had 2 beautiful daughters.
Mm-hmm.
The best. They're huge, dude. I can't believe seeing them now.
I know.
After
12 and
seeing
10.
them when they were kids.
12 and 10.
They are massive.
But it's crazy, dude. I met her like across the street, like basically.
Everything happens for a reason, man.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason. And
Also, doesn't happen for a reason.
But the good thing is your kids have a wonderful father.
I do my best, dude. I really do. Like, we had a great weekend this weekend.
That's all that matters, man. It's all about living in the moment and teaching them the lessons that you experienced. And I like the sound of your vape. The fresh toast.
Ooh. Toasting on that thing.
That's a nice. I could hear it toasting.
I just crackles.
That's the jewel bean right there.
Crackle, pop.
The fresh jewel pod.
I'm just jeweling it up.
Jeweling it up. Damn, I really missed that. That's funny that you met your ex-wife around that time, because I loved going to those parties at fucking.
We had some goings at the
Those
apartment.
were fun, dude.
Yeah.
My buddy fucking Killer Watts, dude. Watsonian Conquest.
Saw him tonight.
He's got to come through once. I know he's a little fucking
He's been once
strapped
before.
down.
He's been
once.
One time.
He's got to come again.
He'll come.
He's got too many kids, bro. These guys shoot too many fucking loads. They got to learn to hold the seeds back.
Shooting fresh loads.
I know it's nice when you're inside, but you got to fucking, you got to put a pinch on it.
Got to break it down every once in a while.
You got to put a pinch on it, bro. It's too nice when it's warm and supple. You're up in there, blazing saddles, you know what I mean? You got to calm down. Killer Watts, you got to calm down there. You got to do it. So the one thing about marriage is that it's tough.
I love this talk right now.
It's fucking tough.
This is my favorite talk.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Marriage is very tough.
Yeah, it's the worst.
It's one of the most rewarding,
It's so hard.
but difficult things that I think any human has ever can go through.
I think marriage is the toughest thing ever. It's so fucking hard, bro.
Yeah, very hard.
And I'll never be a marriage counselor, but I'll tell you one thing. Communicate is the most important thing in a marriage ever. And I'm not a marriage counselor. I'm the farthest thing from it. But I think communication is so key.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
So fucking key, bro.
I couldn't agree more,
Yeah.
Siege. I really couldn't. It is the single-handedly most important part of marriage is communication.
Yeah.
If you have no communication, you don't have a marriage.
No, I totally agree. And I feel like that was like a downfall of mine is like, as a man, we don't talk much.
No.
We don't. I mean, it's just the facts of life, whatever. I had some problems in my marriage, right? And I didn't talk a lot about it. I'm not going to change that. Nothing was going to change. My marriage was going to be what it is now anyway.
Yeah.
But I wish I could have talked about it more and not had such a knee-jerk and shitty way I went about it.
Yeah.
It's one thing I regret in my life.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Navigating through a marriage is one of the most difficult things I think any man or woman
The hardest.
could face.
Because we're on the guy side of things, it's so tough, dude. So tough to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, especially, when you have testosterone thrown in the mix, right? Men have a different need. And, it drives the man in a different way.
Right.
And you have to have not only communication, but you have to have intimacy. You take any of those two things out of the equation, and the marriage becomes extraordinarily difficult.
Very.
Extraordinarily difficult. And when you throw kids in the mix, it makes the two said things even more difficult.
Yeah.
Because, not only is every marriage different, every child is different. Right. So how you live your every day-to-day life, whether it be sleeping, whether it be just living, eating, showering, depending on the kid, you're going to do all those things differently.
Right.
Sometimes if you don't train your kid to sleep on their own, they're going to be in your bed all day. So that means you're not going to be intimate with your wife anymore, at least for a while.
That's a tough part.
You got to get your kid in there.
That's a tough part.
Then you don't have freedom anymore. You don't have free time. If you don't have the grandparents to watch the kids so you can go have a date night, then there goes that. There goes that sense of freedom. And you feel like you're in a box and you're trapped and you don't have, the one time when you and your wife would be hungry at 2 a.m. Like, oh, let's go get a sandwich at Quick Check. That's out the window.
You're spot on.
That doesn't happen anymore. And that's a culture shock. And when you're married and all those things hit you, if you don't have the mutual drive to work things out, the marriage ain't going to work. Right. It requires not only effort, but a mutual effort. And it's tough, man. It's definitely tough. If you can make it out, it's great. But not everybody can make it out of that rut. And it's very hard. And people love planting seeds. Just keep popping out fucking
Sometimes
kids.
Too many seeds.
Too many, and it's like it's gonna put a damper on your fucking mental stability. You need everybody. We're all human.
I agree.
We need some sort of freedom. You need some sort of mental health. And if you have fucking 4 kids, you never gave yourself a chance to relax.
Right.
It's not healthy, bro.
No.
I'm one and done for real.
That's it.
I wish I could give my kid more because he wants siblings. But I'm not going to complicate my life because if I complicate my life, I'm complicating his life.
Right.
I can't do that, bro. I can't. Me and my wife don't have the help that most people have.
Sure.
Just like the help you didn't have.
No, you're right.
If I have another kid, me and my wife are going to kill each other. I don't want to kill my wife. I want to live with her forever.
You are so...
You know what I'm saying?
So spot on. It's ridiculous.
I have another kid. It's going to make our lives more difficult. I don't want to do that.
It'd be nice, but who's doing what?
We're already sacrificing for the one. Right. If you have another, you're sacrificing for your one current kid so you can give him a sibling.
Yeah.
But then you're fucking making your life even worse. And then what happens? Dude, breaking up and divorcing is tough. You know more than I do.
Oh, I do.
Everything gets split, and then you got to pay this.
It's so tough.
And it never gets easier.
No.
The older the kids get, then you have to still communicate. You have to still...
I mean, listen, it does get easier. I mean, it's getting easier slowly now for me, but does it really get easier? No.
It just gets different.
It gets different.
It's different. It's not easier, it's different.
I'm super fortunate now.
No, I
met a girl now.
Yeah, and that definitely helped.
It's Al.
Behind every great man is a great woman. I always said that.
Let me tell you, dude.
I always said that.
This girl, mind blowing. She's amazing.
I'm happy for you, man.
Thanks, man.
That's all that matters, man.
It's good when you find a good one.
Oh, it's the best.
Takes a bit sometimes, I guess. I mean,
when you find a good one, it's the best.
The best.
There's nothing like the motivation you get from having happiness from a woman. There's nothing like it.
It's hard to do, though.
Yeah.
But
there's nothing like it.
She's wonderful.
Good, man. I'm happy for you. I mean, to be honest with you, I've known you for many, many years. I could see, the change in you, the happiness in you. I could see it all.
Yeah.
I could feel it. It's in your aura.
I just feel better, you know? My whole body feels better about it.
What's crazy about it all is although you're happy now and stuff, the 2 kids you have now, you can't take away from the creation of them too.
No.
So it's like everything happens for a reason, right? And that's what's kind of cool about life. It's like you come through milestones, you come through, bumps in the road, but everything happens for a reason. I'm a big believer of that. And even though you're not with your ex-wife anymore, it's like it was meant for you to be with them, be with her rather.
Oh yeah,
so that you could have those 2 beautiful kids.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing in disguise.
The best thing ever. But like, I'm a big believer in the universe, like how it talks to you.
It does.
And recently, the universe has been like such a part of my life.
Yeah.
Like, things have been happening, and then the universe talks to you in weird ways, and you listen, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
You fucking listen. And like, my life has been so much better recently with this whole universe thing that I've been, I don't know, buying into, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like, weird shit has been going on where like everything's going right and the universe tells you it's going right. Like, just fucking follow it, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Listen to it.
No, that's a blessing, man. Because you went through, some rough times. You got married, you had your 2 kids, and then
Right.
whatever the case may be,
Tough go there.
you parted ways. And then now that's like another obstacle thrown your way.
Yeah.
Of the many that we've talked about the whole night, right?
Oh yeah.
It's
Life is that's what it does to me.
keeps throwing shit at you. But you've managed to always just hit it on, head on, and deal with every part. You've always managed to come out.
Trying.
Always.
Trying.
And that's what's always, to me, coming full circle, always inspired me about you.
I love you, bro.
Witnessing you from the cards you were dealt, the situations you've been through, me just from the outside looking in, it's inspirational. This is you're a perfect example of somebody who just does not give up, always keeps their head above water, and just hits it head on, buddy.
I love you, bro.
So I love, not only do I love you, I thank you for teaching me what it is to not give up.
Yeah.
And
Keep
I love that
bro.
about you.
Just keep fucking.
No, it's inspirational in every sense of the word. You know what I mean?
Life's a garden. Dig it.
I tried to, exactly. I tried to express that in the beginning, but I couldn't really. Now I think the listeners will understand what I meant by that.
Yeah.
By how.
Well, I hope they get it. I mean, I hope we figure this thing out enough where they get it, because we were all over the place tonight.
And we haven't even really
No.
technically scratched the surface.
We
dealt through a lot, and we got a little more to go, but
yeah.
It's a long journey. You've
I think we'll be on again.
Oh, we have to. It's a long journey you've been through, man. Just see it all and hear it all and witness it all. It's wild. It's fucking wild. It's remarkable. You turned out the way you did,
Thanks, buddy.
I know you're a little upset at that one specific turning point.
Yeah, there's a few.
But that one when you decided to really get dropped off at exit 30.
Yeah, that one bothers me.
But it's just it is what it is. It had to happen.
Yeah.
I strongly believe that it had to happen, In present day, your mom got locked up again, right?
Yeah, multiple times.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Multiple times since.
When's the last time you talked to her?
Mother's Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On the phone or?
Text her.
Oh, she's out?
Yeah. Yeah, she's living in somewhere.
No shit. I assume she texted you because you have the same number you've had for years.
No, we reach out on Facebook, so she's doing all right.
When's the last time you've seen her?
My brother's wedding.
She went?
Yeah.
No fucking shit.
Yeah.
What was that like to see her there at that moment?
Brutal. It's tough. Wasn't sure how to feel about it, to be honest with you.
Who'd she go with, by herself?
Yeah.
That's pretty heavy.
Big time.
I didn't know you talked to her that recent. And
Yeah.
she's good now? She's all right, whatever?
As far as I know, she's doing okay.
It's tough, man. That whole fucking drug world is, once it sucks you in, it's really tough to
sucks
shake
you in,
it.
Yeah. Yeah, she's doing all right. She got COPD-4. She's like struggling, but I mean, fuck, dude. She put herself in this position, so it's tough deal.
You know what's crazy about the drug world nowadays is the fentanyl situation is really fucking bananas. And you almost can't do any drugs now without testing it.
It's so scary.
I mean, you can't even do cocaine now without, having a drug kit to test it.
I can.
Well, yeah, but you might die. Dude, there's tons of people that are dying just from doing cocaine bumps.
I know.
Because you don't know what it's laced with.
I'm still here, so.
A lot of people got to test fresh kits. You know what I mean? You got to test it before you even fucking touch it, because who fucking knows what's going on? Scary times we're living in, but anyway, we're here tonight to celebrate how far you've come and, all the stuff that you've been through. We didn't even scratch the surface, but
no.
At least we got to dab it a little bit.
I think there's like a part one. Like, I feel like there's like a multiple.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Well, listen, man, I really thank you for coming. Really thank you for sharing your story with me. I know a lot of these topics are, put you in a quite vulnerable state in the whole nine. And I just really appreciate you sharing the story with me. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's always been inspirational to me. And I know that anybody listening, it'll be inspirational to them that are going through similar situations to yours, if not worse.
I hope not, but
thank you for coming, man.
There's people
It was
out there.
a pleasure to break bread with you, drink. It's always a pleasure to see you in general.
Same shit.
So we'll run this back again sometime. I love you, brother.